So, in a ball of irony, this is my week off, and it is also my week of hell. Not necessarily hell. There's a lot of good stuff, but there's also a ton that I have to do this week. So my week is all fucked up. I apologize to Phil. I gave him the wrong time to nerd rage because I'm so fucked up in the game.
Well, I'm glad you had that interaction because I totally was not planning on doing this today. I had in my mind that it was tomorrow.
So let me look at my calendar real quick, just for today, just for this week. Today, I had to cut the grass. Check. Done. I have to do a review for next Monday. I have not done that yet. And I have to work on diorama. That is checked. And I actually ended up getting a Patreon video of a build for the diorama done as well. So I ended up getting a little extra thing done, but I haven't got everything I'm supposed to get done yet.
Nice.
I guess. And then I have Nerd Rage in red because it's my fun activity for the day.
Well, Bobby, if the diorama isn't a fun activity, then why the fuck are you doing it?
So the diorama is fun, but I really don't enjoy the video process of it because it just slows me down so much.
That's one of the reasons I haven't.
Yeah, I hate it.
I haven't put out anything lately.
I do it because people seem to find it really beneficial, and then it's one of those things that I do, and I mean, just to be honest, like I double dip on content, right? Because I'm doing 4 videos for the Patreon folks, then I can consolidate it into one for the channel. It's like a two birds and one stone or some shit.
And people like watching people make shit. That's why I like how it's made and
yeah.
Even
So
if they don't do it themselves, they'll fucking watch it.
I watch a lot of that kind of shit, and like. I was watching something the other day, and the guy was like, sorry I didn't get more done this week, but filming this is a pain in the ass.
It takes more time to film it.
And they do a great job editing. They're doing like little tight shots down right at wherever the tool's working.
And if I don't have Laura here, like if Laura's here, she'll film it.
Yeah.
And then she's putting my face in it every fucking 3 minutes anyway, so I gotta edit all that out. But like, if I have her here, at least it's like, it's sorted. Like that's sorted. But a lot of times, she's not here to do it, or she's busy. She's got her own fucking life, right? She's not here to make my diorama videos. So like, I'll have to hold the camera with one hand and paint with the other hand, and it's just a pain in the ass, but worth it. But
well, I mean,
that's why it's not fun.
I'm in the same boat with you on that, and I need to invest in some tools like an overhead tripod that I can just sit up and work. And
yeah, man, you got my money, bro.
Yeah, that's right.
Just look on the streaming equipment. All that shit is.
Nonetheless.
Tomorrow is my relaxing day. So Laura's off Tuesday, Thursday. I'm off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week. I worked yesterday, which is Sunday, and I worked Saturday. So Laura's off Tuesday, Thursday. So one of those days, she wanted to have me to herself because she's pretty selfish, kind of at the end of the day. You know,
that's fair.
So I wanted to accommodate, obviously, and she had something going on Thursday, so I was like, cool, I'm yours Tuesday, whatever you want to do. You want to garden, you want to go to the mall, you want to go to Target,
apples.
you want to go to fucking Bed Bath and Beyond, bitch.
yeah.
I'm your guy.
I'm pretty sure they went out of business.
Yeah, I think they are in the process of going out of business.
I thought they went bankrupt last year, but maybe I'm wrong.
Sorry. I think they did, but I don't think they've all closed down yet. Like I think it's still in the process of like.
I get that and Bath and Body Works mixed up.
That's the fancy candle store that Cody requested to go to when he traveled from.
Do they have a fancy candle store?
I used to like the body scrubs.
Katie's quite fond of it.
Katie likes those fancy candles from the shopping mall.
Man, that and fucking Chick-fil-A sauce.
I'm gonna miss that, dude. Him not being here.
I know. And trust me, he's
I know he's tried.
He's ate up. Like he's ate up about it.
Because it's keep going back and forth. It would be different if it was like,
I know.
Here's a timeline.
Yeah.
Look forward to in 2 years.
And like he like loves like your kids, my kids, he like gets like bummed out.
They're all grown up now.
He gets bummed out.
Yeah.
Like he gets
It's
bummed
been
out,
so
like
long,
seeing him,
yeah.
like I'm missing. He's like I'm missing so much, you know. Like, my heart breaks for him. So tomorrow's my wife day. I hope that's a blast. I'll probably end up getting some diorama stuff done. if I'm going to be honest about it, like it's not like we're going to be attached at the hip. She's going to do yoga at some point. She's going to take a shower at some point. So I'll probably use those little 20-minute, 30-minute intervals to get something done. Wednesday's hell day. So I have to be in Baltimore There's a guy who has moved to Baltimore, who I've had correspondence with online, and I think his name is I think his screen name is Cricket, so we'll just call him Cricket. And if he ends up being in the mix, I'm just going to call the dude Cricket. I've decided that's going to be his nickname.
Sounds about right.
But he wanted me to come through, check out his apartment, give him some ideas for display.
Wow, you're
Personal consultant.
wow.
Paid?
This is like,
So
I hope you're getting paid, bro.
is this a Patreon?
no, I don't think he's on Patreon.
You just showed to people's house like this?
Oh, so
Damn,
you
dude.
don't have to be on Patreon to just get Bobby to pop in.
To give me an invite? No, I try to make my invitations.
How long have you been interacting with this dude?
It's funny. I get accused, Christopher, of being the guy who won't go to people's houses. But I, in turn, put that accusation back on the people and say I am the guy who doesn't get invitations to people's houses. And that
That's
can be
fair.
for a number of
That's
reasons,
fair.
and I'm willing to eat those charges.
I just never think about inviting people over.
So, and usually, even when you do invite me over, it's because I said it's time for you to invite me over, Chris.
That's also fair.
So I'm going to meet him at 10 o'clock. I'm going to meet him for 1 hour. I think I promised him 2. I can no longer fulfill that promise. It's going to be for 1 hour. I'm then going to leave him safely in Baltimore City, or as safely as it gets, and
Depends what part of Baltimore.
head back into the county where I am going to meet with my work for an overtime project that I am actually excited about, but just not looking forward to that process of it. That should take about 2 hours, which will then bring me back to home, where I have to pick Selena up early from school to take her to the dentist to make sure that they got all the fucking teeth out of her head. Because
all gums.
She's Jaws. And then I got to take her back and then watch the kids until Laura gets home and cook them dinner, of course, and all that kind of fatherly stuff.
So, is your work project, is that involving your reviewing video skills, or is that
Yes, it'll involve some video skills and podcasting skills.
nice?
Yeah, so-
will we ever see the fruitions of this, or is this like something private thing?
It's
for your
it's
work?
it's private, but
Okay.
I can show some behind the scenes stuff or whatever. But anyway, it's not going to be all that exciting. However, some of the stuff I have done for them I think is exciting. But then I have showed people and they'll be like boring. But that's
To
fine.
each their own,
That's
bro.
fine.
Matter
That's
of
fine.
perspective.
It's okay. So mopping is not for everyone.
Understood.
So then Thursday, I'm going to rendezvous with you and work on some diorama stuff.
I still need some preliminary ideas.
Yes, I'm struggling with them as well. I think most of what I'm going to want is letters.
Okay.
However, maybe a garage door and a house door. Is that in the wheelhouse of?
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
I'll try to send
Bobby.
you some
He can make
That's
you a working
squares.
garage door.
Bobby-
He can make you a working
Well, he
garage
doesn't need a
door.
garage
that-
door.
that-
You just
that
need
rolls
one to
up.
glue to the back of your.
Chris can make
Yeah.
fucking anything.
Yes. So I just I have to like measure it out. Or does the measurements not matter? I can just show you the design, then we can extrapolate the measurements. You can
Pretty
just
much.
drag the corner.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Cool. I'll send you pictures then. I'll send you pictures during your nerd week.
Okay.
And then, so I have that, and then I'll come back, and then Thursday evening will be more of my selfish wife wanting to monopolize my time. So I will,
How dare she?
yeah, I'll bless her. I'll bless her with the unit and fucking keep her happy. You know what I mean?
Oh boy.
Did you guys ever scout around to find a place in Baltimore?
No, and she never listens to this, which is the only reason why I'm comfortable saying that. Scout around for a place in Baltimore.
For the TF?
No,
it's
but
kinda-
I can do that Wednesday morning if
Yeah.
you want.
We'll talk about that.
Okay,
after
okay.
The show.
Okay. I know you guys were talking about it before, so.
Then Friday, I have sit down Saturday to do in the morning, and then I record with a third party designer as much as possible. I record a podcast on Patreon with him. So like when it allots. We've been pretty consistent recently, but and then I have that in the afternoon, and then I go back to work Saturday.
How long have you been doing the third party?
This will be our third month,
Okay.
third or fourth. So that's my week, and it's just all these little, and everything has to kind of happen right at the exact time in order to allow for. So I fucked up the timing today, which is nice because I didn't have to mow the grass and when it's let's see what it is right now.
It's gonna be like 98 degrees today.
10 billion degrees is actually what it is right now. So I didn't have to do it when it was 10 billion degrees. So that's nice. I was able to do it in the morning. Walked in the morning. I've had some pretty interesting stuff this happened to me this week. So I'm anxious to get to my week, but I'm going to
I was
take.
going to say, are you just going to go?
I'm going to take a break from talking because I've been talking now for about 10 minutes. So, Joe, you got your coffee first. Phil, I'm not sure how much of a guest you are anymore because now you live in town. So, Chris, how was your nerd week?
It was pretty good. I saw Snake Eyes.
Oh,
Nice.
I didn't even know it came out.
The live action
I
film.
have not heard good things about
Apparently, others did not know it was out as well.
I'm out of the loop though. Like it's not fair. It's like
I saw it
I
as
just-
well.
I'm of two minds about it. One,
Well, I'm curious.
well,
what you were gonna say.
Grapes of Wrath and Snake Eyes. I'm kind of two minds about these films.
so if you had ever read the Marvel comics growing up, you would not have any correlation. There's nothing to be, in my opinion, there's nothing to be mad about unless you read the Marvel comics.
Okay.
If you read the Marvel comics, the Hard Master, the Blind Master, the Soft Master, Joe's all three of those at a certain time.
Depends on the time of day.
That all played a very integral role of that whole clan, whose name I can never pronounce correctly, so I just don't say it.
Muay Thai is, I believe.
No, that's not it.
No, that is not it.
I thought it was very well choreographed. The fighting was top notch.
Let me just
like I said, that many people care about fucking the Marvel G.I. Joe comics other than like the 5 diehard G.I. Joe fans out there.
Well,
Fair question.
Therein lies the problem. The way I think it. First of all, we're still in the middle of a pandemic. I don't care what anybody says. So I'm not saying that it was a smart idea to release this movie right now. Anyways,
an unprecedented one.
it is. It did $13 million the first week it was out, which is horribly disappointing.
Let me read you what I got sent to me, which this gentleman, and I'm going to watch it. I'm looking forward to seeing it. But when he sent this, I was like, this is exactly what I expected.
Okay, I'm interested to hear.
Man, that new Snake Eyes movie is just I think I'm disappointed because I want a proper Snake Eyes movie that's true to the Marvel comic origin story. Vietnam, LRRP team, disfigured, doesn't talk much, pet wolf. We need an X-Men Origins redo like Wolverine got, but a G.I. Joe Origins of Snake Eyes. I said, I haven't seen it. He said, if I were to microanalyze how it feels, it's like I have no draw to a fairly generic action movie because I'm not getting those nostalgic triggers watching something from a universe that's paying homage to the source material of recreating comic book scenes with real people. So this is just a bunch of actors playing roles that share only a name with characters I know and love from childhood comics. Minor spoiler, Baroness kind of has an accent, but it's not sexy. It's kind of a mix of a window licker and a British person trying to sound like they're from some country that I've never heard of. I can only understand about, and it only appears about every fifth word. And somebody gave them too much budget, so they added unnecessary visual fluff all over it. Meaningless CGI transitions between scenes, overly artsy poses and scene-setting choreography and battles, and what's with the excessive electric motorcycle scenes? They all sound like Marvin the Martian's UFO puttering around.
Okay,
I think it's not the demographics is what it sounds like.
Well, I made this comparison. You remember when we watched the first, well, I guess the only Venom movie? And I think we universally agreed that it would have been a great sci-fi horror movie, but it had nothing to do with Venom.
Yes.
Same deal.
This is a pretty good martial art, modern martial arts. I'll even say gun fu, John Wickish. Gun. That's a thing. That's what they call it. That's what they call it.
I bet it is. I've
2000s.
I have never heard of it.
Really?
I've never heard of it. But the moment you say it, I know exactly
Well,
what it is.
I mean,
to
that's
me.
It's
I
from
know-
Gun Kata.
I don't give a shit what it's from, Phil.
John-
I'm just saying that it makes perfect sense to me
Equilibrium.
of how it exists.
It's almost like being on Monday nights. Is it John Woo that was the director?
From the 80s, from Hong Kong movies.
Yeah,
Like,
so it's really
started that
a Hong
style.
Kong based thing. I mean, you've got Snake Eyes, and obviously who's going to become Storm Shadow. They added a couple new characters in there for the sake of the movie, and then Scarlet and the Baroness are in it mainly to set up another movie.
Yeah.
And the way they're playing this, and I don't listen. G.I. Joe is a code name for America's highly trained special mission force. Its purpose to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world. You can't, in 2021, have that good-bad scenario. So,
Disagree.
okay, hang on, let me finish. In this story, Cobra is a sleeper cell organization that's all over the world. They've got their hands in They're a criminal enterprise, but they're not. I don't think they're waving flags on television. And the reason I say that is because the Snake Eyes character, who has no other name in the movie, but they explain it. Someone says something about Cobra, and he's like, "What's Cobra?" So I'm thinking Joe Blow on the street has no idea this criminal underworld exists. It's kind of like drill music, right? So
all over the place, but no one knows about it.
IYK.
if you say so. I don't think there's going to be anything come of this movie. I think it's kind of a shame because I think it could be some good shit. They don't introduce any other characters of mention. I'm sure there's Easter eggs. Well, that person walking on the street on the third scene, that was Duke. Sure.
I mean, it's
Did you see when they were
not a G.I. Joe movie.
when they were driving the scooters? There was a roadblock in the street.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some characters were having a barbecue.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Are there fireflies in some scenes?
There was.
Are they in Vietnam at all?
No, they weren't.
Were there any vipers in the trees?
There weren't any, there definitely, there's a bunch of dogs around. I'm sure they were just mutts.
Was anybody wearing a pair of pit vipers?
No.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Wearing.
Wow.
It's mostly set in Japan, although they obviously had a sponsorship with Hyundai, which is a Korean
company.
Which is a Korean company, and I don't know how many Korean cars are in Japan, but apparently there's several because that's literally every car in the.
There's a ton of them here.
Sure.
Being grown, driving drunk in a Hyundai.
I was okay with the movie overall.
Sounds
I
fun.
enjoyed it. It was fun to watch. I don't think anything will come of it. Obviously they were trying to build towards something. unless they figure out a way to lower the budget and they just can do this as a straight to video continuation.
I mean, they digital release. They didn't do a digital release, right?
So they did. It is out now on Paramount.
But
No,
it was delayed, right?
You told me it's on Redbox streaming.
Redbox streaming right now.
I just saw it, and we're going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently they changed their release window because they're like, okay, this is done at the theater. Let's make more money elsewhere.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, like, companies are trying to figure out how to distribute things right now.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
the timing of when to distribute things.
Yeah.
So, like, it's still, like, a hit or miss.
Yeah, but I think that, like, if you're not... Like, if Avengers... Like, that would be what's interesting to me. Is if Avengers dropped and they said, look, we're only doing theater right now. Because that's a movie that has, like, mega pull, right? But G.I. Joe...
But that's a different...
G.I. Joe, in my humble opinion, and as a G.I. Joe fan... I'm sorry, I hate to say it. I know you hate to hear it. It wasn't going to do well anyway.
I thought, I don't know how much budget they had.
It was never
going to
do
be
well.
like a medium level.
I think it was $150 million.
Like summer blockbuster type deal.
It was a decent amount of budget.
Come and goes, like many.
Right.
Like back in the day, like the summer blockbusters, people love to watch it and then they fucking forget about it.
So
Right.
let's just for comparison's sake, the first Transformers live action Michael Bay film. What drove people to the theater to see that? Because it wasn't a ton of star power in the movie.
No, I would say it was 3 parts.
Okay.
It was fans because it was the first of its kind. It was the Friday night moviegoer for the action effects, extravaganza.
Michael Bay movie.
And Megan Fox. And not because of
Okay.
the name, but because of the aesthetics.
What about our finger?
They didn't see that yet. They didn't know.
Just
They
the
didn't
one.
know.
They didn't know.
Also, like just big robots, bro.
Yeah. I was
Like just sci-fi fan in general, I feel like would want to watch that.
I was thinking about like
And for this, it's like just the martial arts movie fan would want to watch this, but like they're not the biggest moviegoers. I don't think.
Well, they should lean into the sci-fi element. That's what I think. Like that cult, this Cobra cult, Cobra COVID cult, is.
don't say that.
I mean, I think that's a part too of like not knowing when to release things. Like I don't blame the studios for not knowing how to go about this because just like a mass come and go.
Right.
Not the fucking people with the cars that turn into planes, but like the ones
Matt
with,
Tracker and such. We talked recently.
I haven't stopped wearing it. I hear customers come, oh, I never know when to wear them. I stopped wearing them. Now I have to wear them again in Maryland. I'm like, I just never stopped. It doesn't change.
I've been wearing one in public again.
Right. I haven't ever stopped since. I don't know how long do we have a break for? A few weeks.
No, I think it was several months.
It was a good
Several
bit. I mean,
months.
since probably March.
We haven't had to wear masks since March.
Yeah, it feels like that to me because the vaccine started going out in January.
So I had a good
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 month break. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't.
I'm not wearing mine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I'm vaxxed, waxed, and ready to chillax.
I'll tell you why I'm wearing mine. Because I have 2 people in my house that aren't vaccinated.
Makes sense to me.
That's why I'm wearing a mask.
I don't
But
know.
for children, I hear you. So that's a topic of conversation in my home a lot these days because of school and such.
Or your kids are back in school now, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And I'm just like, so to me, it's a gamble either way,
Yes.
right? You're gambling on, a vaccine that I trust enough and think is responsible for me due to my mopping to take. I think it's the responsible choice as a mopper of facilities like nursing homes and such, that it's the responsible choice for me.
Absolutely.
My wife is a physical therapist. She sees patients. A lot of them have other ailments. She's a Parkinson's specialist, et
So
cetera.
she's
et cetera.
seeing older people.
Yep, older people with compromised systems. Responsible choice, once again. As far as my kids, it's like, okay, either they take the vaccine and we're betting on that horse. We're betting that the vaccine is going to have no long-term issues that we just don't know yet. But the other way is to bet this virus that doesn't really affect people under 80 a whole lot. Certainly doesn't.
Yeah.
This
Depends
Delta variant
on
is
the
affecting
CDC
children.
mortality
No,
published
well,
rates.
you're talking about death. I'm talking about morbidity.
Mortality.
Morbidity is not good. Like I know someone who just caught it the second time, and he's been fucking stuck in bed for a week.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying it's
and he's
pleasurable.
my-
I was talking
yeah.
specifically about death.
Yeah. Okay.
If we talk about the people that it is affecting that are under the age of 30, you're talking about like you have a better chance of winning the lottery. Mm-hmm. And not just a little bit of a better chance, like a fuck ton of a better chance. It's like a 0.00 such like fucking 4% that they'll even get it. So it's like what, and I'm not saying there's a right or wrong because we're debating it in our house, but this is the conversation that we're having. It's like, which horse are you betting on? And I just don't know. To me, any potential risk of the vaccine was worth it because of my occupation. My occupation pays me well. It does a lot of great things for me. As a result, I have to take some sacrifices that I wouldn't necessarily want to take on the backside of things. And the same for my wife. But my children aren't in that spot, and I just want to make sure. I mean, we're ultimately responsible for their safety, right?
Sure.
And it's just like I'm not sure. I would never tell another man how to raise their kids. But I'm not sure if that fear of them being unvaccinated, so I'm going to wear a mask, I'm not sure, in my opinion, how valid that fear is.
Understand your point of view.
And especially being vaccinated yourself.
I am.
Because the viral load that you're even supposed to be able to carry is significantly reduced.
I don't need you talking shit about my viral load, okay?
I'll tell you what, my load is trash. If you're going to talk about it like and be honest, like there's certain things sexually I'm proud of with myself. My load is not one of them.
I think it's because you never save up.
It's probably true.
Because like times, me too, but like sometimes like I just get too busy and it's been like a few days and I'm like, oh, did I just piss myself? Oh no, that's just fucking.
I told you I heard this celery is
just
supposed to
fucking
fix it, and I ate
everywhere.
like a whole stalk of celery and just had diarrhea.
Let me put a caveat on what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If I'm running in Walmart, I'm going to put on my mask.
What about Target?
Yeah.
Different clientele.
Definitely, yeah, I am. If I'm going somewhere for a long fucking time, that's different. But if I'm in and out of places,
Yeah.
and how much trouble is it for me just to wear that fucking
That's what I'm
mask?
saying.
Listen,
It's like,
I'm not in a
it's not
situation.
hard
I'm not.
to
I'm
wear
not.
a mask.
I'm not visiting with the public like most of you do with your job in some capacity on a regular basis. So I understand where you're coming from. Like for you to wear a mask all day at work, and bless the heart of anybody who is doing that in the medical field or in retail or Joe who loves his masks.
I'd
tell you one thing.
50+ hours this week.
No,
Joe, we all wear masks, metaphorically speaking.
except those of us who have no face.
Because you don't need a face.
Moving
You can
on.
just CG onto the
moving on from this. Yeah.
We don't need faces anymore.
Kelly and I finished The Boys season 1.
Okay.
And I'm going to be honest with you, like you mentioned what happens at the, and I didn't remember that at all. And I've been telling you, it's this churning through something so quick. I don't have time. I don't have time to process. So this was almost like watching something. I remember the high points, but I didn't remember the majority of the shit that happened in that show.
It's funny you say that, and I wanted to tag on to two of your points. One was with the G.I. Joe, because you had some shit, and I wanted to let you cook. But I'm hoping that one of the things about COVID in that shit is that we get back to smaller budget movies. Motherfuckers having to do more with less. I'm hoping for that. Secondly, what I did with The Boys this go round, I refused to watch more than one episode in a row.
Okay.
You know, so I didn't.
I think we watched maybe 2 at a time is the most we watched.
So I didn't I didn't do it like one a week, but I would do like one a day. And I just found that like I ended up retaining the episode better. Yeah. I was able to kind of like visualize it and kind of contain it in my mind a certain way better. So like I thoroughly enjoyed it more, and I didn't fall asleep as much during it and had to fucking find a spot. So
that's how, like, we watched Game of Thrones last year, pretty much episode a day. And I remember so much more of that whole thing. I'm sure I don't remember every little point, and I'd probably like to go back through it again at some point. But, you know, just the fact that it's almost disappointing to think that I wasted, 8-9 hours. Not wasted, but didn't retain anything, you know? Right. I'd be like, oh, I'm going to read the Coruscant Nights trilogy and not going to remember any of it.
Don't bring up bullshit.
At some point, though, I think it's just like a lot of shit to remember. In general.
It is.
Yeah. Like how many series are you going to add into your brain before you start to just...
Especially if you're doing more than one at once.
Yeah, I can't. I try to do one thing. And I think maybe I'm the way I am. I was thinking that because the way I've been forced to study through my life since fucking Hong Kong is like cram.
Right.
So I think that's why.
See, I never studied. I never had to study like that.
A thing called cram school.
Yeah.
So
you've talked about it.
Where you put stuff in your butt.
Well,
that's a different school.
I learned that out of school.
Totally different.
On the streets. On the streets.
That shit.
Faculty is totally different. Also,
you learned it. Did you learn it from a man behind a dumpster in the alley?
I will call you Joe.
That's how he got his name. That's how he got his name. But saying that to say, maybe just, I don't know, next time you're binging through something and it doesn't have your attention, just take a break.
Yeah, it's almost similar. I've compared it to before, but it's almost similar to like reading. Like for me anyway. Like if I'm reading something and I'm getting tired and I just continue reading, I'll go like
the same page over and over again.
Yeah, 3 fucking 4 pages, and I'll be like, I'm just been thinking about, why is General Mills still in business for the past fucking 10 minutes?
Exactly. Well, like, I mean,
what do they make?
Cheerios.
They make
Lucky Charms.
What good shit they make?
Lucky Charms.
All right, Lucky Charms.
I said what good shit they make.
No, Lucky Charms.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Did they make cinnamon?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I love
Why
that
would you
whole
question
line.
General Mills? They make Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I love the Lucky Charms knockoffs that are called Irish Treasures.
The one that comes in a plastic bag.
Yeah,
I don't love to eat
malto
them.
meal.
I just love the
bag
branding.
cereals,
I just love the branding.
Yeah, I want to eat my plastic bag full of cereals and a plastic bag of milk in Canada.
General Mills also makes all the monster cereals too.
Yeah.
Count chocolate and stuff.
I've never got into that. I'm not a big chocolate cereal person. Yeah.
I'm really not either. I don't like
Cocoa
them.
Pebbles. You have chocolate milk at the end.
I know. It's just not for me. I've tried it.
Cocoa Krispies are better.
I wanted to like it. Like I
like that would probably be my favorite chocolate cereal.
There's a number of like foods that like every time I see, I'm like, man, that looks great.
And then you try it.
And then I tried it. I'm like, nope, still don't like that. Mashed potatoes is one.
For me, it's popcorn.
Really?
You don't like popcorn? Really?
I take it or leave it. It's a waste of calories. It smells fucking amazing,
Sure.
and it doesn't taste anywhere near as good as it smells.
What about like cheesy popcorn?
No, I'll eat it. It's okay.
Well, I know you like that.
No,
the red
I'm
velvet
asking,
popcorn.
Hold on a second. I'm asking you to specialize when you say popcorn. Are you saying
Like movie theater
plain
popcorn?
ass?
No, all popcorn.
All pop. Okay.
Okay.
So if for Christmas
With-
you got one of those
like,
tins with like the 3 flavors of popcorn,
I
you
eat
probably
it all
still fuck it up.
begrudgingly, yeah. Not begrudgingly, but you know what I mean? Like, I'll eat it all. I
make a
hate
note.
wasting food.
Let me
But,
make a
like,
note here.
it's
Get
going
Joe
to sound
popcorn.
weird, but like, I don't know. And then just a nostalgia thing, but like Hong Kong popcorn is different. I don't know if they use a different kind of corn, but the texture is different and it's sweet. And it's not like kettle corn. People are like, oh, is it like kettle corn? I'm like, it's kind of, but the texture is
Is it a
completely different.
glaze? Or
I don't know.
Okay.
I like kettle corn. That's good shit.
It's like different. And there's never that like fucking piece of goddamn corn skin
Yeah.
that gets stuck in your.
Oh yeah, that is
Like that doesn't exist in the Hong Kong popcorn. I don't
What
know
if it's not
they
corn
have
at
like
all?
a little fucking
What if it's some sort of little
third-party
animal
kids?
eggs?
bat teeth.
I thought you said. I just thought they had like little fucking third-party kids. After they finished with KFC, they picked the little thing out of the popcorn.
That's probably what's going
Like
on.
tweezers.
How was the red velvet popcorn?
Oh, it's good,
Okay.
but like I'd rather have red velvet cake or cupcake.
Yeah.
Or the red velvet Halo top is amazing. I had one last night.
Really?
320 calories.
Where were we?
That was cereal, man.
Oh, reading. So like
yeah.
you read for a long time and
Cereal
you're
fucks
not
it up.
obtaining.
Yeah.
Well,
like I borrowed that. Is it Emperor Joker book from?
yes.
And I started reading it, and I like half fell asleep, but I somehow turned 3 pages, and I'm like, I'm gonna put this down. I'll work on it later. We're gonna later. Huge wrestling week, absolutely huge. It is. God damn, this is the best time to be a wrestling fan since I'm thinking the NWO and fucking Stone Cold, 98, 99. Man,
Love to hear it.
so much good shit. AEW, who is my favorite promotion right now.
And Root Beer Company.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, who would win in the fight, A&W or AEW?
A&W Root Beer. I can't believe they haven't gotten that sponsorship. So they have had a show on Wednesdays for a couple years now. They have a show on Fridays now called Rampage. And they had booked the United Center where the Chicago Bulls played for this one-night event for Rampage, and they called it The First Dance. Now, what was The Last Dance? That was the documentary about the Bulls recently, right?
It was also a film.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Well,
It's awful.
In reference to the
Yes.
United Center in Chicago, Illinois, it's the Last Dance. So this is the first dance. And CM Punk has been a polarizing figure in wrestling. That is his name. His name's Phil Brooks, actually. CM Punk.
Yeah, he came back.
Okay.
Oh, dude, Phil Brooks.
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
Brooks the shoes.
Brooks the shoes. By the way, sidebar, I had several people hit me up and said they enjoyed our sneaker talk.
Oh, nice.
As frustrating as it was to explain StockX to you, hopefully you get it now.
I bought a pair off it.
Did you?
Yep, I bought my Air Max, my triple black Air Max.
Nice. Good deal.
Nice, you got those. Huh?
$20 over retail, but I guess you know what? Small price.
$20 is nothing, man. That's easy. So the rumor had been that CM Punk was going to. CM Punk left WWE 7 years ago, totally disenfranchised with the business. Ended up suing them.
He was seeing red, huh?
Yeah. So actually,
Got him.
they ended up. He went on a podcast. He went on a podcast with his best friend Colt Cabana and talked basically about how he had a staph infection in his elbow, and they kept on telling him, "We're just going to drain it. You'll be okay." Well, it fucked him up.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And WWE sued him for defamation because they said that didn't happen. Here's what the doctor says. Long story short, he went into he trained for the UFC.
Yeah.
He had 2 fights.
It wasn't
He
good. It didn't
lost
go well.
both of them in
Bad.
under a minute. But you know what?
And he went into acting. Yeah, he was in several movies.
He's in a couple movies. He's
It
actually
wasn't that bad.
he's actually in
watched
that new show Heels I talked about. Anyways, rumor has it he was coming to AEW, and the show opened, and people have been chanting CM Punk in arenas for years.
It's like Freebird.
Exactly. Just like anytime WWE came to Chicago, CM Punk, constantly. So I knew they have to open the show with him, because if they don't, no one's going to get anything done. And he uses Cult of Personality by
The song,
Nice.
the same color.
So his last
Nice.
contract with WWE, one of his things was, you're going to license this song for me to use. Well, unfortunately for the WWE, anybody can license songs. So they licensed it, and hits. The place goes bananas. This is probably the loudest reaction I have ever heard in my life.
I love that. I don't know,
Yeah,
but I know.
yeah.
Yeah, and he just
Happy
stands
for
there.
Happy for 4 people.
He just stands there basking in the glow,
Happy
man.
for him. Shit.
That's cool.
And you know they're chanting his name so loud. Oh, you can't even hear the music. It's crazy. He finally he makes his way down to the ring. They have to take a commercial break because it took him so long to get to the ring. And he talks, and basically he says, "I left professional wrestling in 2005. I don't remember what year. He was in Ring of Honor, which is a smaller promotion. He said, the night I left there, I cried, and I cried because I knew I had done everything I could do here, and it was time to move on. And that was the last day I was a professional wrestler." And he said, whatever the date was, the 20th, today I'm a professional wrestler again. It was great.
Wow.
It
I
was
feel like
fucking-
you're feeling it right now.
fucking dude.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
There was like
feel
so they showed the guy. I mean, there's a lot of people with tears in their eyes, but they showed a guy like openly weeping in the crowd, and he got so much shit online. But Tommy
come on.
Dreamer, who's a ECW guy who's with Impact Wrestling now, he put out like APB, hey, find this guy. I'm inviting him to come to our show, and then I'm getting him more tickets to AEW.
Love to
Passionate.
hear it.
That's awesome.
Great.
So that was Friday night. Saturday, WWE did SummerSlam. John Cena had come back. John Cena got beat. By Roman Reigns. And then Brock Lesnar's music hits.
Oh, no
And
shit.
here comes Brock Lesnar with a fucking... He's got... His hair's long and he's got it like braided in the back and this huge fucking beard. And here's the thing that may not fall to you guys the way it does to me. Paul Heyman, who has been Brock Lesnar's mouthpiece forever, has been Roman Reigns' mouthpiece for the past year and a half.
Roman.
So the fact that the facials that Paul Heyman gave, because he's like, what am I supposed to do here? These are my two big dogs. You know, the guy who's a champion now that I've been with for a year or two, and then the fucking
classic-
man who I've been with since he came into business.
Yeah.
That's just going to be such an interesting dynamic. And then last night was NXT's, which is WWE's development brand, which is almost a slap in the face to them. Apparently, they're completely revamping that whole process. So this may be the last show like that. But Samoa Joe won the championship. It's a guy. I had a poster in my basement of a guy with all my wrestling stuff.
Yeah.
That's Samoa Joe. He wrestled for us one time, many years ago, 16 years ago now. But if you told me in 2021 that CM Punk would be on TV and Samoa Joe would be winning championships, I would have said you're out of your fucking mind. But
Here we are.
what a time to be alive! So
Isn't it, though?
super happy with and there's a lot of people online like, this WWE's never going to be able to come back. No, they are. And competition breeds excellence. You're going to get better shows now than you've gotten when there
otherwise
wasn't
it's
any
just stagnant.
competition. 'Cause-
Monopoly breeds stagnancy.
Exactly. So wrestling's on every night, basically, so I can't complain.
I mean, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan.
It is.
Why are you not making any wrestling dioramas, bro?
Patience, Grasshopper.
Did you back that Mattel ring?
I did, actually.
Like, it just was successful recently, was it not?
Yeah, so it wasn't at first. It was not doing well, and then they added so it was a ring and it was an entranceway, and they called it the New Generation set, which I think confused a lot of people. It was basically the period in time where, okay, we're going to use people that don't use steroids, wink wink. So you got, it was the Shawn Michaels and not the complete Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior, veins popping out of your forehead people. So it came with that entranceway and a huge ring. The ring's pretty cool. It's actually got like the boards underneath it, and it's kind of a silly thing, but it's the most detailed ring they've ever done. And it came with a Diesel figure. It was Kevin Nash from John Wick fame, and was also the Super Shredder.
Was Diesel Super Shredder?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
And he was also
not an Asian
he was also the Russian in the Thomas
More of that bullshit, Joe.
that's
the Thomas Jane Punisher movie.
First
He was
Super
great,
Shredder
too.
and then Black Widow.
Bobby, the Thomas Jane Punisher movie, probably one of your all-time favorite
It's
films.
awful.
Well,
I love it. I love that.
You're not wrong.
great.
My favorite part is when they drag John Travolta into
the
the
car-
car lot and
yes.
it turns into a skull.
Oh, so
but
beautiful.
there is a good scene in there when he's living in the apartment and the Russian comes in and
Yes.
attacks him with
Yeah,
the striped
that's
shirt
my
on.
favorite scene in the movie.
That's Diesel Kevin Nash.
That's pretty much straight from the book. It's great.
So they they basically added an upfront stretch goal to this ring. You got Macho Man as the commentator he was with the right tables and the table skirts and everything.
Wow.
That bumped them over. Once that early bird was out, they reached all the stretch goals. We're getting a Doink figure, guys. A Doink figure.
Bro, we're just speaking Bobby's language.
You have to let me review the Doink figure.
Well,
Are you not getting it, Bobby?
we're going to
You've
see
been
where
talking about Doink forever.
It's only coming with the
we're going to see where this lands.
It's only coming with the mat. I'm not buying the mat.
Get the whole thing and then sell
you
the
might,
mat.
you might get to review it in the box depending on
Gotcha.
I mean, because that's probably the only Doink they're going to make. So that thing. You remember how?
Does it come with a dink?
You remember how on the barge the carded figures were going for a ton of money?
Yeah.
The figures it came with. It's going to be kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
I think. So
Bro, wrestling is a great year for you too, Bobby.
I know. It's,
didn't even know.
That would be I would buy that figure.
Oh man, I'll have to put the word out that you have one more buyer if you open this figure up later.
Yeah, I would buy that figure. Like it would be because it's the only wrestling character that I've ever loved.
And it's the only one you ever talk about.
Yeah.
Good old Matt Bourne. Funny story.
The Bourne Identity.
There is, yeah.
He's the real Bourne Identity. Some
Well,
kung fu.
The reason he wore that white face paint is because he always had cocaine all over his face anyway. So they just said, "Fuck it, just roll with it."
Are you
Right?
trying to make me like him more?
Yeah, pretty much.
You can only be so erect, bro.
That's right. You can only be so erect. And I think that's it. Something else comes up.
Did you watch What If?
I did watch What If. Damn it, I forgot to mention I watched What If.
Did you watch it, Phil?
I've seen the first one. I don't care about the second one. I'll see it eventually.
So I'll tell you, I've seen the first one. I've seen the second one, and I also don't care about the second one.
I care more about what's been said a little bit about the third upcoming one.
So that one I know nothing.
darker.
So
I'm good. I'm spoilers.
Thank you for reminding me of that because I did watch it. What I'll say is, in the first one, they told us the way they told the story. It said, "Here's the little thing we changed to get to where we got." This one's just like, "Here's how shit is."
Yeah, I didn't.
I didn't like. I'm not saying the story wasn't good. I didn't like the way they laid it out.
Yeah, and I didn't find the story as interesting as like something getting like turned completely upside down. I don't know. It didn't do it for me. What was kind of like bittersweet is like it's fucking Chadwick, but like it's him.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck,
I think that's why the
dude's
second one's gotten a little more positive reviews than the first episode
Dude
because
was
it was
fucking
him.
perfect.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like it's such a bummer. Like it's bittersweet. It's like it's cool to hear him again and in the cat suit, so to speak. But it's also like a reminder of, that's over.
Yeah. I mean, they explained why they would have made that decision, to land there instead of. But I did love it at the end when. Spoilers, Phil.
Yeah, okay,
when Peter's working at the Dairy Queen.
Yeah, that's exactly where he would have went.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah,
that was pretty good.
Overall, I didn't find this episode to be anywhere near as enjoyable as the first episode.
I keep forgetting it's coming out. Mason's. You want to watch?
Everyone's
like,
I get a notification.
I do, but it's like that night.
Gotcha.
The third episode is supposedly darker. I don't know the story context.
Yeah.
I'm
here for it because I really enjoyed the first one. Have you watched any? Because they're self-contained.
No, I just haven't.
Because
Yeah.
the darker stuff is what the comics were.
And I don't give a shit about I don't give a shit about I don't expect Marvel to be dark.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking for.
I don't care. I just that first one seemed like a really like tight thought out thing.
Mm-hmm.
These little changes make these but like little character traits still kind of come through, and the second one just seemed like, and this is also a possibility, whereas the first one seemed like a little bit more of a
Just
conceptualized.
I mean, I honestly thought that was going to be the format. One little change.
Yeah.
Well, the change was pretty significant in this.
Yeah.
You missed by like half of the world.
Yeah.
But I did like how the Reavers had kind of become the good guys through the whole thing.
And I like
the
how
power of positivity there.
And I like Thanos.
Oh, that was great. The Thanos is a
Thanos. Panther is basically Star-Lord, right? And he convinces Thanos that like there's a better way to solve the problem, like with just a conversation. And Thanos is like, but you can't deny his efficiency.
Yeah,
am I right?
He keeps
like,
on going
he's
back.
Still, he's still like kind of a pistol about it.
Nice.
So like that was funny, but like overall, it wasn't enough to save that episode for me. That Thanos bit was great, and then just the bittersweetness of him in that role, such a bummer.
Yeah.
Is that all?
Yeah.
No Bad Batch? Is it still on? Is it still going?
It's concluded. It's concluded.
Oh, it's done.
Yeah.
It's over. Are you going to do it? You should do a video to overarch the whole thing just for me.
The second,
Just a summary, just a synopsis.
Yeah, I just need a synopsis.
that one episode, the Rebels episode, was great, and the second to last episode was good.
I
Not
will
great,
probably
but good.
just put it on one day in the
I'll watch it.
background.
I'll
and
for sure
and
watch it. Just
while I'm painting or something.
it's just not urgent.
Yeah. But that's it for me.
Phil.
All right. Well,
Phil's with us today, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Phil has moved, as we have
that's
discussed
the
on
big
here.
thing. So. I'm now in my new spot.
How is it?
I got shit everywhere, dude. It's gonna be that way for a while.
Same.
And this week I got to go back to my old spot and pick up the last few things over the course of the weekend.
How is it? Nice, your own spot.
Yeah, it's
You're,
nice.
Like, I
it'll be
mean, that's
fun.
fucking congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
How, I mean, like, what have you done? I mean, what weird shit have you done that you've never been
Fucking
able to?
jerked off everywhere. You better have jerked off everywhere.
You got up and
You
get
get
something out of the
Christian
fridge naked.
Yeah, but I would do that randomly.
Who has splooged the kitchen sink before? In their house.
I have not done
I have not.
See, is it even your house at that point, bro?
I think so.
bro.
I don't think that's the determining factor. I think fucking Wells Fargo just. Wells Fargo hasn't asked me. Hey, to be fair, it's theirs and not mine.
At the end, when you signed the papers after you paid off your last payment, have you splooged in the kitchen sink?
One last thing, sir.
You better go take care of that right now.
We want to thank you for your 20-year loan. Now, if you wouldn't mind whipping out your penis and ejaculating into the sink.
I'm scared of the garbage disposal. That's why I have
Are you that long? Your third leg? Your fucking third leg?
Cold, too.
That's right.
But just to give a quick different perspective, I did see Snake Eyes myself a couple weeks before the move, and
But did he see you, is the question.
I know nothing about the Marvel comic.
Is he blind?
No. He's not Daredevil.
I think in my mind, I always thought he was blind because he had a dog. He covered his eyes all the time.
There's a wolf found in the woods.
It's a one-way mirror.
I think because he had that thing and he had a dog, I always imagined he was like on some like blind ninja shit.
So I don't know the origin from the comics at all because I've only ever read one. I only ever read one Marvel comic that they had. So because it's the only one I had ever had as a kid. So for me, just approaching it as not knowing much about it, it was fine. Mm-hmm. I think it was very enjoyable, and I would like to see what else they would do with it. But like you said, who knows if they're going to continue it or not?
Right.
I think I liked the casting pretty well. The Baroness was kind of weird that her accent went in and out.
I don't think I even paid that.
But
I couldn't even notice
everybody else I liked. I love who they got to play Scarlet. I like her in pretty much everything I've seen her in.
So this is a complete reboot, right?
Yeah, it's a complete reboot.
It's got
I mean, the
nothing to do with
first
the
movie
others.
got a second movie, though.
The only thing that was weird for me is I know at some point they have to make him.
$13 million, though, I bet.
Spoilers. He talks the entire time.
Yeah.
Snake Eyes does?
Yeah, I figured they would at the end.
Have to if it's just his movie.
Snake Eyes a fucking chatty patty out here in the streets.
Yeah, but I figured by the end of the movie they would do something in the story to have him be mute.
Shut the fuck up, yeah.
And I was like, okay, where is it? And then he's still talking at the end. I was like, all right, they're obviously leading to another film, but that's kind of like that's a hallmark of his character.
Phil, would you have rather watched the Nicolas Cage movie Snake Eyes?
I like that movie.
It is good.
That
was
is a good movie.
I haven't watched
When people
it in a long
talk
time.
shit about Nicolas Cage, I'm like, remember he
Dude,
was in The Rock, Snake Eyes?
Snake Eyes was
Face
that
Off?
Snake Eyes was
Leaving Las
probably
Vegas.
Look, I like martial arts action stuff, but that Nicolas Cage Snake Eyes was probably a better film.
Oh, it
That's not
definitely
fucking
was.
great movie. That's what the boxing faking.
Yeah.
Yo, dude.
I've
I
seen it
want to
so
watch
long.
it again now.
He's in this movie called Pig.
Yep.
I want to see that. I want to see that.
Dude,
Because, like,
too. I saw the
Well, at least
he's-
Wonderland was amazing.
he's
So.
done. Yeah, I was gonna say if you're gonna watch two new Nicolas Cage movies, watch Mandy and watch The Color Out of Space. This
Have you
is the
seen
two best
Pig?
thing I've ever seen. No, I have not.
It just came out, though, right?
Yeah,
Oh, it hasn't
I haven't
come out
seen
yet.
it on streaming yet. Somewhere
I think it's on Netflix.
is it? Okay,
But I think he just chases a pig for like the whole movie.
No, there's more to
good
it
with
than that.
but I haven't seen
I
Willy's
read the
Wonderland.
synopsis.
like, finally.
I haven't seen Willy's Wonderland yet either.
This one is fucking great.
It's the inside of a vagina.
The best thing I've seen him do is The Color Out of Space.
Bro,
that was amazing.
Bro, deep. So,
So if you get a chance to see that, watch that.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, here's the one-liner about that movie.
About Pig?
About Pig. Living alone in the Oregon wilderness, a truffle hunter returns to Portland to find the person who stole his beloved pig. So it's John Wick
with a pig.
in the
And Nicolas
Northeast.
Cage.
Or Northwest, rather. Yeah.
I always get confused with that because geographically speaking, like, it doesn't make sense to me. Because, like,
Pacific Northwest.
yeah, a lot of times when people are talking about east or west, I'm like, that's kind of like the middle of the country.
What is?
I don't know
The Pacific
in
Northwest.
general.
Oh, in your head, Pacific Northwest is the middle of the country.
No.
Oh.
Pacific Northwest is like Oregon and Washington.
Yeah,
It is.
That's where that
It
is.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got it.
Because sometimes I feel like
similar
people talk
story
about
did take
like,
place.
Dakota and shit, and they're talking about
No.
That's Middle America.
right. That's what I think.
Midwest, right?
So it's $7 to watch it wherever you want to watch on
Okay.
on
I'm not paying that.
on
for-
Prime. I mean, I paid to watch.
Yeah,
Willy's
I paid to
Wonderland.
watch
Where is
Willy's
Willy?
Wonderland.
Where is Willy's Wonderland? Is it only rent-
Hulu or is it Prime?
Is
I don't
it on-
remember.
It was. I think I ordered it.
I paid
through,
for it. I don't
through
no
Amazon.
No, I'm not paying for that.
Okay,
Watched it twice. Shit.
dude, I'll have to let you borrow Color Out of Space. It's worth a
Nosferatu.
watch.
Yeah, I mean, Shadow of a Vampire.
Yeah.
He was in that. He was a director, I think.
It's true.
Actually, Willy's Wonderland is just on Hulu now. If you want to.
Oh, okay. I got to see that eventually. Then. I do have Hulu access.
You know what's funny? I was thinking about this. There was a time when the cast was different here, and we had a discussion about all of the streaming services seemed to be coming. There was a time during those discussions when there was only Netflix,
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and then and then you started hearing rumblings about these other ones and these other ones, and then we started prophesizing like, I bet you cable ends up kind of going away, but then you end up spending the same amount for streaming
That's
services.
exactly what's happening.
Let's go around and say how many streaming services we're using / paying for strictly for visual media.
We should probably say paid for.
Yes.
Cause,
Yes, because you use
I
my
pay for
Disney.
two. And if Prime counts, because I don't pay extra for Prime, but we have Prime.
Yeah, Prime counts.
Yeah, because we got Amazon
Because
Prime.
it's included in your...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get it for the viewing.
Correct.
We got it for the service.
Correct.
And viewing came with it, so I paid
Correct.
for that and Netflix.
Okay.
Oh, Crunchyroll. That's 3.
Okay. No Hulu?
We don't pay for Hulu.
Oh, you have access to an account.
Yes.
I got you. Okay, so you're only paying for those 3.
Yeah, only those 3.
Okay.
Maybe we're going to do Chris last.
So
you need more time. You want a
no, I got
paper
it.
and pen?
I got it.
No, start off with YouTube Red.
You know what? You know what?
Flex!
I would have
Flex
forgotten that
YouTube.
one. So YouTube Red.
I would never forget
Flex
that you have
those-
YouTube Red.
YouTube Red.
Flex that stream.
Joe has 3.
Oh, I'm way past 3. Netflix,
Is that a K? What the fuck? That's an H, bro.
Half cursive.
Disney,
Of course.
HBO, Hulu, IWTV, which is a wrestling subscription I have.
Oh my God, I never heard that one.
Well, you're not much into the
that's
deathmatch.
true.
Do you
scene, I
count
don't
Hulu
think.
and Disney as separate things?
I mean, I just did, but yeah.
I was just wondering.
And
Yeah.
I mean, and I think in my household we have
You probably have
Crunchyroll,
Crunchyroll.
or is Funimation one too?
You don't have to pay for Funimation. You probably have Crunchyroll.
Okay, so 7. Oh, and we have cable.
Why?
Wow, dude. Flex!
But
The
the reason
he got too much money to keep track of.
hang
is what
on,
it is.
the reason we have cable is because it's the same price to get our internet. The
old bundle.
Well, right. So the level of internet we have, it's the same price to get. We have a fucking home phone
Right.
that's not hooked up, but we have one.
I told you I had
a line.
when I got
Yeah.
rid of my cable, my bill went up
Yeah,
because
So-
I had it bundled with the phone and the and I was so pissed with them because they double billed me, and I had to go through all this shit, and then they still double billed me, and then even though I paid my bill, they turned my cable off,
Yeah.
even though I paid it, and then I wanted it prorated. I was like, take my bill, divide it by 30, and fucking one of them I'm not paying for, however many it was, 4 days, whatever. I didn't have cable, so I was like, look, I don't want cable anymore. And they're like, well, sir, I mean, you're paying $100 now. It's going to be $120 if you don't bundle it. I was like, that's what I want. I want to give you more money for less service. It's worth it to me.
all right.
I don't even know because I refuse to get anything. I only have internet. I don't know if I'm paying more than bundle or not. But
Probably. But that's what I have too.
And also we have Peacock, but hang on, you can say where this lies. It's free because we have Xfinity, whose parent company is NBC Universal.
I'll include it in the fee.
Okay.
Include it for $8.
Well, and like that's like I just say Peacock into the remote and it takes me there.
I forgot about
What'd you say?
I said you already said HBO Max.
Yes.
Yes, he did say HBO. What about you, Phil?
So you're not doing Paramount Plus?
I haven't had a reason to. No.
Let's see. I got
That's the ones you're paying for.
Yeah.
Netflix,
I'm the only dirty pirate.
Disney, Hulu, ESPN is all one bundle, so that's
Okay.
4.
I'll give you.
I mean, I didn't flex the ESPN that I don't have set up, but I technically.
But
pay
I
for
don't
it.
use the ESPN. I've used it as
Well,
a
I
trade
guess you're
to other
paying.
people.
You're paying for it.
Yeah,
so
I'm paying for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's 4.
So I use the
You're 9.
my ESPN Plus as a barter with my friends to trade for their services.
Right.
And I pay for HBO Max now. I just got it.
Okay.
And technically, I have the same thing as Chris. I just don't have the cable. I get Peacock for free for the next year, I guess.
Okay. All right.
That's
so that's
it.
6 for you.
Yeah.
And I have Amazon.
Oh, I didn't say Amazon. God damn it!
I have Amazon, but I don't pay for it because I got it through somebody else.
Okay.
So
I have Amazon, HBO, Showtime, Netflix,
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. 5. So Chris is in first place at 10, followed closely by Phil. I'm right on Phil's heels, though. Phil's what was it? Himalayan balls salted heels at 5, and then Joe, as usual, pulling up the rear with
My favorite spot to be
with 3. And I don't know why we did that exercise, but
we were talking
compare
about
the
where to
cable
watch
prices.
Willy's
Yeah, we're watching-
Wonderland. That's where that came from.
But like, how much was cable? Like, was $60 or some shit, right? Basic cable.
yeah, whatever it was. I don't
Definitely paying. Me and you are paying less.
know. Yeah,
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
$10.
Yeah.
Even if it's $10 per service or whatever.
yeah, we're paying less. But there, I mean, he's got cable still.
on top of everything.
If you ever come in here and be like, you know what, this past week I just was not entertained, I'm going to ask you to just leave the house.
Oh, you should. Whatever you
You know who just started their own streaming service?
Huh.
Games Workshop.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What are they stream? What
They
are
have
they?
a bunch of animations coming up. Oh, there's
Really?
one out now for free that you can watch. I don't know if the times is up. They have like one of the animations up for free for 28 or
Really?
24 to 48 hours. And on top of that, though, you get access to like all the digital library, like all the White Dwarfs, all the magazines and shit. So it's not just the streaming service, but like all the
Have you
media.
watched any of it?
Fuck no. I'm not paying for that shit.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you had access.
How much is it a month?
I don't know. I didn't check. I just
So
know-
they're doing like an anime series based on Warhammer.
I wouldn't say an anime, but
Fantasy, I hope.
They have I mean, they have
Warhammer
Age of
fans.
Sigmar stuff. They have Age of Sigmar stuff coming up. Yep. It's not just 40K. It's like all Games Workshop properties.
Right. No, I know.
But yeah, animation. I wouldn't say
Okay.
anime. But like, they're different styles. That's why like a lot of the YouTube fan film people of Games Workshop has been shutting down in the past few weeks. Because Games Workshop has been like, after all these years of being cool with fan films and then hiring some of them, and then they just started cracking down a few, like maybe a month, 2 months ago, and we're like, what the fuck is going on? And like all these YouTube channels got shut down, or they quit ahead of time before cease and desist, and then they announced the fucking streaming service. Like,
The game doesn't change, only the players.
Right. Phil,
fucking big corporate Games Workshop, bro.
we went from Snake Eyes to whatever that was.
Yeah, was there anything
rich.
else on your?
Not much. I mean, I was kind of lukewarm on the first What If episode. I'll watch it because it's Marvel, but I just thought the love story felt kind of forced for it because in my mind, Steve Rogers shouldn't have been in the picture after he didn't get the serum. The military would have kicked him out. He had no purpose to be there in the story other than to keep the love story plot going.
But Howard.
Howard, though, that's the connection, and I think that Howard. I think my take from it, my explanation for it, and I don't give a shit because it's just
because I did watch the Peggy Carter show, and that doesn't add up for me that Steve would still be in there.
But Howard, at that point, I think was saying, I feel bad that he didn't get that opportunity. Let me give him this suit. And I think if he didn't have the suit, then he wouldn't be, you know. But if that's how I explain it, mine, it's only like a 20-minute, whatever. But yeah, I get you. I got you.
But yeah, that's basically because the move has taken up my entire life.
Yeah, moving is stressful, man.
Yeah, it's
stressful.
I was up for over 36 hours.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Yosef,
It's been busy as in work for me. Last couple of weeks been overtime. Watched Suicide Squad 2. I think it's my fault for not enjoying as much as I could. I think
Why?
I went into it in the wrong headspace because I forgot that you told me to watch it like Talladega Nights, like a comedy. Like I went into it watching a superhero movie that's funny. So like a lot of it, like, so I start off on the wrong foot because a lot of it just seems real fucking dumb and that doesn't make sense. So it was like kind of downhill from there. I'm just watching the movie through that lens. There were enjoyable parts, obviously enjoyable characters, but overall I gave it a C+, and I think it would have been a B+ if I wasn't tainted by myself.
well, C+ is
Was it a tasty taint?
It was pretty tasty.
a C+ is. I mean, I gave it a B.
Yeah.
That's close.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like I would have like enjoyed it more. Like a lot of the parts you guys were talking about, like as I watched them, like this should be funny to me. I don't know why it's not right now.
Do you think you're a DC hater at all?
No, because I enjoy some DC shit.
Which ones?
I like the Man of Steel movie a shit ton. Justice was okay. I didn't hate it. The Snyder's Cut, that's the only one I watched.
Yeah, but
I thought with an edit it could be much better.
you didn't hate it. But like you see, now it's I didn't hate it. At first, you were like, I like it, but we had a whole conversation. You were like, I actually hate talking about how I like it because people love it, and I don't think it's
exactly. It's overrated. I like it, but it's overrated.
But I feel like as a result, you want to fall back on a heel of you're not crazy about it. Instead of saying, I like it. I think it's a good... Because you never lean into that. You never lean into that.
Because I just give it the criticism of... Like, fucking...
Do you think you need to change seats?
With him? Maybe.
What do you?
Because I keep thinking it was too. Like,
as a point of view.
Because like as time has gone on, and I think back to the movie, all I remember now really is like how long it was and how tedious that process was, regardless of the enjoyable aspects.
Well, what about the other ones, like the Wonder Woman films, Shazam or Aquaman?
I didn't watch Shazam.
Okay.
Wonder Woman was alright.
Which one did you see?
The first one. I didn't watch the second one. And Aquaman was alright. Yeah.
Did it make a splash?
I watched it on the plane.
But I do wonder. Like in my and trust me.
Suicide Squad, the first one had enjoyable parts, but like it fell the fuck apart.
Yeah, I didn't like that one myself.
And I really didn't like that Joker. So even though most people are okay with it,
actually, I think most people don't care for him.
I thought it was shifted. I thought people hated him, and then they were okay with him.
I think that it shifted with Snyder Cut. I think they're like, oh, now I like that. So now if I watch the other through that lens, kind of like what Clone Wars did with some stuff, it's like, oh, okay, if I watch it through that lens. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just C+. I enjoyed it. I didn't no complaints about watching it, but like it's my fault I didn't enjoy it more. I should have enjoyed it more. That's why I'm blaming myself. Everyone loves the shark, of course. I would assume everyone loves the shark, right? Y'all talking about like Polka Dot being your favorite character. Like the shark is my favorite character, bro.
Yeah, I think
I've
seen the Harley Quinn show, and he's much better in that.
I really fucking can't. Like, I can't fucking stand this Harley Quinn. I don't like her. I know people love her.
Oh, Margot Robbie?
Yeah. Oh, not her as an actress, but like this. I don't know. I don't like this character.
But you think that that's inconsistent with her character?
I don't know. I just don't like her.
But I mean,
with the character that
you say it like I don't like this Harley Quinn. Like there's another Harley Quinn
animated series.
I don't know. I feel like they're.
I mean, that's where she came from, and that's the only one.
Sure.
That's the one I really know. Like, but where else is there Harley Quinn?
The comics, the games.
I don't read any comics. I mean, it's not a DC Marvel thing. Pretty much comics.
But I think that Harley's character traits in this is in the same ballpark as her animated character traits. Like I think she's pretty true to form. Now we've talked before that you don't like villainized characters anyway, which is going to be tough to watch a film like Suicide Squad where they're all villains. But like,
well, part of what this movie explored was that maybe some of them aren't villains.
Well, I think that's just life, right? Is very few people consider themselves
all good or all bad.
Yeah,
but
they're very shades of gray.
They are definitely in the villain boat. A lot of them. I remember at one point in the car.
What's the name of the villain boat? I'm just curious. Like, is it the SS
Minnow?
No.
No.
I think
heroes.
I think that
are on that boat, sir.
Thurston Howard the Third is a hero.
Yeah, I never seen.
I think he's the villain of the whole show.
And I think it's the fucking professor. He's the fucking evil fucking mad scientist. He's been doing some wacky fucking experiment on that.
What do you think about the arms?
I found your Gilligan's Island fan fiction on Tumblr, so now the secret's out.
But the arms getting shot.
That was funny.
That was Nathan Fillion.
I mean, I don't know who that is, but like that, I just like the concept wise, like the arms are over here getting shot, and he's over here like. And then the weasel. Did you?
The weasel was like the first part with not Mace Windu, fucking Yondu. I thought it was complete.
Yeah, as the thinker guy.
Oh, the swerve.
Savant, yeah.
The swerve because you think you're following him and
not just swerve, but like it's comical. It's fucking stupid the way I don't know.
The whole thing's stupid.
The whole thing's stupid. Like I should have gone into it.
It's inconsistent, Joe. Dancing and distracting the most powerful person in the universe is also fucking stupid.
Guardians, yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
I don't know. Maybe it's just I don't know. Maybe it's just
I think it's your
opinion
seat
thing.
I'm putting you in a new seat. for those listening, Joe's seat, he looks at nothing but DC stuff. And Chris's seat looks at Star Wars and Marvel stuff. And Phil looks at Marvel and Transformers. Yeah. And I look at
like it all.
The smorgasbord. And I think Joe has been looking at the same thing for too long. And now he just wants something new.
Jaded against DC.
But like I said, it's like Chris said, it's supposed to be stupid. Like it's stupid fun.
Yeah,
it's stupid
stupid
funny.
fun.
It's my fault for not going in because you told me it's like Talladega Nights, and Talladega Nights is fucking dumb.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid,
But
and
it's hilarious.
hilarious.
Just pretend
But like,
it's a Will
if
Ferrell
I
movie.
went into watching Talladega Nights thinking it's like a Days of Thunder sequel, I would have been real disappointed. Right?
What did you think about the polka dot seeing his mom everywhere?
That's funny.
The giant mom in Star was fantastic.
The movie grew on me as it went on because like I started getting
into the vibe.
into it. But like you know who that is? That's your mom. That's fucking awesome.
Did you notice the dragging at all, like around between the second?
I know what
and
you're
third
talking
act?
about, but
like when they were in the bar or whatever.
And no, the van when the van talking. No, the bar I liked because the bar felt real. Like the emotion there didn't feel silly. They felt
Agreed.
like when they were having a drink, it just felt like, yeah, I've been to a party where this is the
Agreed.
vibes.
Agreed.
But in the van when they were talking is when I'm like, this is real contrite. Like this is like this conversation is dumb. The points you're making are dumb. Like
the whole bit where they started to develop the drama between Idris and John Cena to me just seemed like awkward and longer than it needed to be to kind of get that point
and
across.
then at the end you get the Marvel treatment, which you hate, which is not the very end. You get the samesies versus samesies twice. You get John Cena versus non-superpowered like military guy.
Oh, Idris
Rick Flag.
No,
Rick Flag.
And then you get John Cena, and it's real short.
Yeah, well, I give less of a fuck about. I like the Starro bit.
Yeah.
That other side shit, like I could do without. To be honest, I know you're a John Cena fan. I don't mean any
I never said it was a John Cena fan.
It's a wrestling renaissance, and I'm here for it.
It is a renaissance.
You didn't care about the Brooklyn stuff. It's okay. I'm still here for wrestling stuff. But I think that the Starro bit, that's where I think that movie kind of sits better. I think the John Cena Idris Elba bit is a little bit more serious and like
they went about it silly, but it was comedy in the way
for sure.
feuding.
But like the feud there is just like it feels a little bit more grounded, and like I kind of like this thing just being off in the fucking clouds,
off the rails.
Yeah.
That's where it sits better.
Family bonding feels forced, like the van scene. This is why I wrote my note, like with the rat girl and
her dad.
No, and Idris Elba. Like, I had a daughter. And she's like, I had a dad. That's felt real forced. But like I said, the club scene felt genuine. Because that's where it is. And like the sorrow bit, like just reminds me of the one Rick and Morty episode where the same shit happened.
Yeah, okay.
But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the whole Starro thing. But it's weird because we did see Starro in that one fucking show. The cleanup crew show.
Yeah, which I never saw.
Yeah, I didn't saw that, but I remember that specific scene being in the trailer.
I wonder if it ties in somehow.
The cleanup crew show?
Yeah, there was like a DC cleanup crew. It was like the people that worked and like cleaned up the city after these fucking...
Vanessa Hudgens was in it.
Okay, yeah, okay.
And the guy who played Abed on Community.
Okay.
If anybody's seen Community.
Did you watch that show? It sounds like you watched that show.
Community? I watched
every Monday
DC
night.
Show.
I saw a couple episodes. It was bad.
And I watched Sonic the movie.
Oh, Jim Carrey?
Live action. So I went into expecting for the lowest. We watched it on Discord. Usually we just like trash talk movies if it's not enjoyable or just, So I went into it not expecting it to be good. I loved it. I thought it was fucking great. I thought it's one of the best video game movies.
I haven't seen it.
Like
really?
And
I figured you would have watched it.
I want to watch it. The problem is my kids and wife watched it without me.
And now I want to watch it again.
Yeah, and I'm like, they hated it.
Okay.
And now I'm like, well, what? Now when am I going to have 2 hours to sit down and
we can do commentary,
bro? And
afterwards,
afterwards discussion, I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
Like general consensus, that is one video game movie that seems to have transcended the video game curse. Like it was successful, and people generally liked it.
Really good. I'm looking forward to the sequel now with Idris Elba being Knuckles because I love Knuckles, and
Knuckles McGee,
and like everyone is like Jim Carrey's.
That's when you get jerked off like this.
Oh
my god!
Oh no!
That's kind of like a foot job, but with Knuckles. I'm not sure about that.
Pardon me,
Joe. Do you
foot
wish?
job is a lot of work. I feel like I've never given one or gotten one.
Feet aren't really my thing.
Me either.
I'll suck your toes and shit, not your toes, but like a lady's toes. Like I'll go through the motions. I know it's a thing. Like it's a what's that spot? Like they call it like your sensitive spots. Like there's a name for it, but it's one of those.
Okay.
So I'm up for it, but if it was up to me, just put those bad boys in some heels. Let me watch you walk around that all day. I'd much prefer it.
But have you seen it? It just seems like a lot of work on the chick's part. You gotta have a lot of fucking.
Oh yeah, like hamstrings.
Your whole leg up and down for like however long it takes you to fucking. Well, anyway,
Joe.
Talking about children's movies here.
Do you think that they should have had CGI buttholes on
Sonic? Mm-hmm. Probably.
Okay.
He farted,
He did fart.
so he has to have a
So
butthole.
we-
I find that entirely believable.
Yeah.
What, did he farted? Mm-hmm. I had a Genesis. That was my first real console I ever had. So like I had Sonic and I played. That's all I had. Didn't get a new game for a long
Let
time.
me ask you a question, because I'm trying to. Forgive me. Let me go out on a limb here, Chris. Did you ever have to sit in a seat for like 4 years where you had to look at nothing but Sonic characters?
No.
I think we found the connection.
There's a correlation there.
That's why.
Gotcha.
And Jim Carrey doesn't look like Eggman.
No? That's a bummer. I don't know if I've ever really saw him.
Eggman
is a giant
egg-shaped man.
But is he fat? Is he like in a fat suit or anything?
No. So
Doesn't
everyone
he get into a ship or something that's kind of that?
Yeah, it's the hovercraft type deal. So he's a scientist in the movie, but everyone shat on it because he doesn't look like Eggman. But I think his performance was fucking great.
I believe that.
Just like
he's a hell of an actor. Really.
Raul Julia in Street Fighter, I think he did an amazing job as Bison, taking a real silly role and doing fantastic with it.
On his deathbed, by the way.
Right. Yeah. I think Jim
Julia
Carrey did
Gulia.
Don't disrespect the man like that.
You remember Julia Gulia from Wedding Singer?
I do.
Yes.
He was
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
But yeah, so I enjoyed it, and I thought Jim Carrey. I forget that he can.
He's amazing.
He's a good actor.
Not just
that Andy Kaufman shit is still
yes,
a fucking amazing performance.
But not just acting, being a good actor in a role that's serious, but being able to take what you're given and do well with it.
Get what you get and don't get upset.
Because sometimes we're like, oh man, this person's a great actor, actress, but the material they're given, these lines suck. There's no way they can do it. And then you see
Portman in episode 1,
exactly.
2, and 3.
1, 2. Was all 3 of them just as bad? I can't remember.
I think dialogue-wise, yes, except for when
it's
the thing.
But the great meme that come from it,
yeah, it's meme central,
dude.
Meme machine.
The prequels are the meme machine. I still get prequel memes sent to me all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It's a real popular one with with Anakin and Padme sitting on the grass talking about.
Yeah, they insert all this stuff. It's like, so you're gonna do this, right?
You're gonna make a good Disney movie, right?
I just saw.
Right?
I just saw one. Hold on one second, because it was good. It's the scene where they're it's Qui-Gon is walking through the pod racing garage, and it says when your friend is choking but you don't know CPR, so you dial 911 instead, and it's Qui-Gon with the shit at the bottom, like the subs are coming up, and it says, "Patience, my blue friend."
Wow.
But yeah, that's it. Drawing, D&D.
Yeah, your stuff looks really good, dude.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
I mean, you're
awesome.
kicking ass.
I appreciate it.
Looks great, man.
Love to see it. Love to see it. Let's see what I got. I got yelled at by a woman.
What else is new in your life? I thought you turned that shit around.
I thought so too, man.
Is that unique?
No, I guess not.
Did you fuck up though?
It was yesterday. No, I didn't. I was a victim. Do
you say that every time?
That's a strong
woman,
word, Bobby.
I'm telling you.
Was she Karen?
No, but I'm gonna get to a Karen conversation today too.
All right. Hate to hear it.
Maybe love to hear it.
Maybe okay.
Love to listen to it. Love to watch it. All right, so I'm in a Giant yesterday. Giant.
It's a grocery store. It's a grocery store, not a Giant's butthole or anything, guys. Calm down.
I'm actually inside of it. Let me out of this Giant. He's like, "Shmee 5 over." So I was like, I'm in the produce section of this Giant grocery store that's moderately sized. The name brand is Giant, and there's a older, like 70s, white woman who's about 4'11" and a half, maybe on a good day. And I'm walking. I was at work, so I had my work uniform on, and I'm walking through the grocery store, and I have to have my mask on because we're under our policy is to wear masks if you're going to be in a public place. Mm-hmm. So I have my mask on. It's a 2-ply gaiter. It is a gaiter, and I sometimes wonder if because a 1-ply gaiter is supposed to be actually worse than not wearing a mask. Mm-hmm. But I often want to tell people like it's 2-ply. 2-ply is okay, they say, but I don't get into it.
Just have a little sticker that says 2-ply on it.
Yes, on the side.
Steal it from a toilet paper wrapper.
White out.
Don't cry. 2-ply with an arrow.
Just steal it from a toilet paper wrapper.
Anyway, so she says to me, what are you doing with that thing? And I was like, what? And she was like, that thing on your face. And I was like, oh, we have to wear them. And she was like, what do you mean you have to wear them? And I was like, well, it's our policy. I'm at work. I pointed to my uniform just to reassure her that I was at work. That wasn't my casual clothes. They had my company on the. It wasn't casual. I wasn't just a fan of that company.
Right.
So I was like, I'm at work, and at work we have rules. And so she's like, well, what if your work told you to go outside and shoot a bunch of people? And I was like, well,
the military does that.
We work in the sanitation, so I don't. Most of our stuff is for the betterment of things, not necessarily for the detriment of things. So I don't think I would receive, a policy that would say to hurt people, given my occupation. And and she was like, "Well, I don't know. You look like a sheep to me. I'm from Detroit, and in Detroit we don't have any rules." I was like, "I've heard that," which was like
sure
that was my subtle like this jab is going to go over your head
because you're so short.
That too.
Oh,
and then she was like, and I don't think those masks do much of anything either. And I was like, I can't attest to that either, but I'm just trying to be a good employee and do my bit. And she was like, well, I heard Trump's going to come back.
What? She started the unload?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, I don't know. And then she was like, I think he might. And I was like, do you want him to? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, well, I wish you good luck. and I was like, I gotta wrap this up, but best of luck to you. And when I walked away, and this other woman actually came up to me. It was weird because I was in. I'll tie this into the next conversation, but I was in an obvious verbal, loud, like she was screaming at me. I'm saying it calmly, but she was like, "That thing, I don't even think it works." Like, that's how she's being.
Dang.
And you're
I'm assuming she's not wearing. I'm assuming she's not wearing a mask.
No, okay, no. And I'm responding very calmly. And it's funny because it's one of those things where it's like I didn't realize it when I was in it, but after I got out of it, I was like, I wonder if anybody was filming that. And my phone starts blowing up in an hour. And I was like, well, at least I had a mask on. This is shit that's going through my head.
Right. Yeah.
This other woman comes up to me out of the blue, younger woman, and usually younger women do not want to have anything to do with me, Joe. She came up to me, she was like, hey, I just want to say you handled that much better and more politely than I would have. Good for you.
Good for you.
Yeah, and I was like, look, could you? I'm going to give you a list of people. Would you? I'm going to put you in a group chat, and I want you to tell all these people in the group chat how good boy I was.
They need to hear it because they don't believe it.
Funny.
Anyway, and so let me say that to say this. I listened to a podcast, and I'm going to shout it out. It was one that I've been telling you guys I heard was coming. And I was interested in it because my boy Camille Foster, who I think the world of, was doing it. And it's called Honestly, with like Barry Wise or something. I forget the woman's name, but the show is called Honestly. And it's the woman that hosts it has Camille on, and I guess every week she takes a story and then sheds this kind of objective light on something that has definitely been spun away. Mm-hmm. So, the one that she did this week with my boy Camille, I say my boy because he's retweeted me once. He is.
Could you enlighten us who this person is?
A co-host of the Fifth Column podcast.
There we go.
And a journalist.
Okay.
He's worked for many things at Reason Magazine right now, I believe, and a Free Think. He's done documentary films. He's like a pretty well. He's been on the Bill Maher show. Like he's a pretty established journalist. Often at war with the New York Times is kind of his like claim to fame. So he wanted to investigate this Amy Cooper story. Now, Amy Cooper is the woman who is often known as the Central Park Karen. All right. So I'm going to tell you the story because it's fucking fascinating. I advise if anybody's interested at all in it to go and check out this podcast. It's about 2 hours. But I'm going to give you the story, so if you don't want to, that's also okay. So the day that this video went...
Don't forget to do that for Bad Batch 4.
for Chris. Yeah. I don't know if I've paid enough attention.
I haven't looked on YouTube. I'm sure.
They were all about a half hour. So the day that this video went up of her, this is the woman who had a dog off leash in Central Park, and she called the police. An African American man was threatening her in the park.
I remember.
Okay, so this video, something that's interesting about it. This video went up the same day as another famous video of 2020, where a police officer knelt on a guy's throat until he fucking died. So,
same day.
Same day.
I didn't realize it was the same day.
Neither did I. But fascinating.
Yeah, that also seems like 4 years ago, doesn't it?
In a way. So, this woman is from Canada. She moved down to the city to pursue her dreams to New York City, and kind of if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere kind of thing. Actually fared well for herself, but she does have some sort of underlying health condition that's pretty serious. She has to go to regularly to hospital. She's hospitalized fairly regularly, et cetera, et cetera. That being said, COVID kind of freaked her out. So she got out of the city. She's also a volunteer at a local dog shelter, which is where the dog comes in. Takes dogs for walks, et cetera, tries to help out around the shelter. She goes to back to Canada, I believe, during COVID, comes with her folks, comes back to the States around into March, April to see how things are, try to get her bearings again, fight through, now that COVID's kind of lessened out by then in New York. So, takes her dog for a walk. She takes the dog to the Ramble, which is like a big bird spot, and you're not allowed to have your dog off the leash there in Central Park. There are places in Central Park where you are allowed to have your dog off the leash, but this was not one of them. Now, enter Christian Cooper. Christian Cooper is the gentleman who had the cell phone and recorded the footage. Christian Cooper is a devout bird watcher.
Okay.
His community, he's known as a birdie, really into birds. And in his community, she is known as a dog person. This becomes important. 2 weeks prior, he's on a Zoom meeting with the Urban Naturalization Committee. Now, this is a committee of people that are protective of natural environment in urban settings. So Central Park is obviously at the top of their list. On this Zoom meeting, he goes into a bit of a rant about people with their dogs off leashes at Central Park, to include the Ramble, where he likes to watch his birds. He's a big bird watcher, birdie. So other people say, I've noticed this as well. And he says, well, I have a way to fix it. And they say, how? And he says, carry a fanny pack full of dog treats and try to lure their dog away from them. They'll get concerned about possible bad things happening to, whether it's poison, whether they're going to physically hurt the animal, and you'll notice that they'll put the leash back on the dog lickety-split. Now, between that time and the time of the incident, he gets into numerous confrontations with people at Central Park, including 2 people who were not women, and put him on his ass.
Over dogs.
Over dogs. Wow. So all the same business. He's going there every time. He's always looking for people with their dogs off a leash. And
was he implementing his treat idea?
Every time.
Okay.
Every time he also has a bike helmet that he holds in a threatening manner as if he's going to hit the dog with the helmet when the dog comes up. Wow. He also says every time to the dog owner, after he gives them a chance to put them on a leash, if you're going to do what you're going to do, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, but you're not going to like it. And then starts offering the treats. So it is a threat. Yes. Right? Okay. Mm-hmm. So this is the history of this guy. Huh. Now, I say that because remember when this story first broke, we talked about it here, and I said we need to be honest. There's 2 Karens in this video.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's funny because he set my fucking Karen sense off. Mm-hmm. So he's walking through the Central Park comes across Amy Cooper, who has her dog off leash, and says, your dog's off leash. They're not allowed to be off leash here. Her response is, there's nowhere for him to play. He says there is a place. It's on the other side, but you can't have him off leash in the ramble. She says something, God forgive me, I can't remember what it is, but it's something to the effect of, what are you, the park police, or what are you doing? Like, don't worry, I'll be out of your way. I'm not here to, whatever. He says, if you're going to do what you're going to do, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, but you're not going to like it. Opens up his pouch, grabs in dog trees. She immediately grabs the dog and tries to keep him back. He's holding this helmet. Pause. She was sexually assaulted 2 years ago or in college. So she carries this drama with her about that. She's also super stressed out about all this COVID shit. So she's not 100% at this moment. Okay. Right. Unpause. At that point, there's a bunch of back and forth of leave us alone. I'm not going to leave you alone. Leave us alone. No, I'm here to stay. Blah, blah, blah. She says, I'm going to call the police and tell them there's an African-American man threatening me. Right? Now, the question is, why do you need to say African-American man? Right? Why is that pertinent? And the truth of the matter is, no one knows but her. Right? Because the question comes into place, are you trying to weaponize the police? Is the fact that this person is black a more risky factor for the police to show up there, right?
I don't know. Like, I know people harp on that point a lot, on
Right.
it, not just in this case, but in general.
Correct.
But like,
but it's whether you believe it or not, you have to admit it's a fair one to at least debate.
yeah. But I'm just saying, it's like, why do you have to say it's a man? All you can is that there's a person threatening me. No, like you give descriptions that first is a natural human thing to do. Whether assuming you're not racist, it's still something you're gonna do. It's something I'm gonna do.
I 100% agree. Now
I'll say this,
and I'm just gonna play devil's advocate for just a second. I think it's more. I think if I'm gonna say I'm gonna call the police, I feel like in my mind I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna call the police and tell them you're harassing me. Yeah. And then when I call the police, I'm gonna be like, there's a guy here harassing me. He's about 6 foot, African American, wearing a red shirt, blue jeans. I do think it's a little weird to say I'm gonna call the police and tell them there's an African American man like that.
Right.
That qualifier.
I'm not defending her. I'm just saying the point in general.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I think, because like I said, like I don't think that it's grays, right? It's like nobody's the victim, nobody's the hero. It's fucking there's grays, but I think that is interesting to dissect. Even though I'm kind of on her side in this in general, I think that that's something to look at. So
I should have her dog out of the leash though.
Yeah,
like
100%.
All of them are fucked up.
100%. Yeah. But it's the fact of like you learn a dog away. Hold on, So she gets on the phone. If you remember in the footage, she starts going crazy. She's like, "There's an African American man. There's a man. He's African American, and there's a man in the park." She's like losing her shit. The reason why is because her cell phone signal is shit. They play the audio recording. From here's this woman in the park. She thinks she's fucking in danger of this person who's going to do what he's going to do, and she's not going to like it. And she can't tell the people that she's calling for help that she needs help. And they're saying like, "What? Say it again. You have to speak up."
Super
I can't.
Garbled.
And that's why she's going fucking nuts. The guy then turns his camera off on the phone. At that same time, another guy is coming out from around the park. He sees what he sees and just stands with her. Like, I don't know what's going on here, but nobody's hurting a woman right here when I'm here. I don't know who's right, who's wrong, but we're not doing that. He leaves. The bird watcher leaves. The birdie. The gentleman walks her to the edge of the park where police have pulled up, gets her in contact with police. He exits stage left immediately. It doesn't want anything to do with any of the drama. He just didn't want to see a girl get hurt on his watch. Yeah. The gentleman's name is Christian Cooper. She's Amy Cooper, which I find interesting.
Wow.
And there's another Cooper involved at some point. I can't remember exactly where. No. About an hour later, her phone starts going off. I think I just saw you on the internet. Then she gets doxxed, threats, etc. She gets fired. Her address comes out. People are fucking with her house. She flees the country and is basically currently living in hiding. They tried to press charges under her under the Karen laws. But because Christian Cooper was like, no, she shouldn't lose her job, and I don't want to press charges. Nothing was ever done. And that's pretty much the story. But what's fascinating about all of that is none of that information comes across in 1 minute of footage.
I mean, always.
You know?
Yeah.
But fascinating story.
Yes.
And one that I think that's interesting. Yes, she's in the wrong in the sense of having a dog off the leash and all that.
But that's not what she's being
Correct.
quote unquote punished for in life right now.
Correct.
Like she's being punished for something she didn't do wrong.
Yeah.
I went to Michael's this past week, and they had a little table set up in the front of the store because they're doing their seasonal hirings. They had like mannequins with, their vests on and stuff. And I just found it odd that of all the names they could put on the name tag at Michael's, they have a Karen name tag. Which I've actually dealt with a Karen at that Michael's, so it may just be an odd coincidence that it's her.
I mean, it's a real human being's name.
I know.
A lot of people are named that.
I know it is.
Unfortunately for them at this point in life.
Yeah.
My kids went back to school this week. And with that has come all sorts of drama.
No doubt.
But
No, they didn't go at all last year, right?
no, they started going back
Hybrid,
around March or
But
February.
it was like
last
for an hour a day or
No,
something.
no. Some of them were going half days. It was all fucked up. They're back in school.
Okay. What are the masking rules?
They have to be masked,
Okay.
except at recess.
All right.
So basically indoors they have to be.
Yeah, but at recess, if they're playing hopscotch, they'd be banned. There's all sorts. There's many
I'm
qualifiers.
sure there's many qualifiers, but
But Jaina, who hasn't really been, in my opinion, on the top of her game in terms of jokes and funny and shit recently, she's back on it. She's been cracking me up this past week.
I mean, you need new inspiration and people to bounce things off of.
Maybe that's what it is.
It's cool.
So she was like, these boys are running around here with shorts that come down to the bottom of their thigh and socks that come down to the bottom of their knee. She said they're out here with sexualized knees.
Oh boy.
All right, she's not done. She's wearing jeans, which I'm proud of her for, because she doesn't put a lot of pride into her appearance. Selena, on the other hand, who puts a ton of pride into her appearance, has been helping her, guiding her. Like she'll be like, that doesn't go with that. She's like, but she's been helping her. So she bought a pair of jeans, and she's wearing them, and she was like, you know what I don't like about them? The button on them sticks out underneath the shirt, like you can see where the overlap of the button fastens. You can like see it, and she was like, "It could be an Audi. It could be some sort of secret penis."
Wow.
I've been fucking rolling.
You should show her the Curb episode about.
I know about the pants,
the tint in the pants.
Yes. So, also, do you remember? Did I tell you guys about the girl that said a little nasty thing to her at the end of the year last year?
I don't believe so.
Doesn't sound familiar.
So look, my poor daughter. All of my kids have these genes in them, right, so to speak. Not the kind with the secret penis, but there's Argentinian blood in them. There's Italian blood in them. There's East German blood in them. And as a result, Jaina definitely has a little bit of a mustache.
Oh.
It's unfortunate. You win some, you lose some.
You just take care of it. A lot of women have.
So, last day of school, this little bitch in her fucking class says, "Look at you, you have a mustache."
Oof, man.
And it hurt her feelings, right? This is like her first insult. This is what I told her. Like, you got to be ready because you're going to find me, and I'm going to talk about all of it.
Yep.
And I was like, well, look, I'll be honest with you. I was like, you got 3 ways to approach this. One, you play the guilt trip, and you say, I hope that really makes you feel good to point that out, and walk away and let her sit with that and think about it for a bit. That's one way to handle it. 2, fuck you, bitch. But if you play that card,
You better be willing to go.
you got to be ready for whatever comes afterwards.
Yeah.
And I'll back you up.
Well, the line behind that is, fuck you, bitch. I know somebody who like it. And you walk away.
But if you give that energy, you just have to be prepared for
all the
wherever
way,
it goes.
yeah.
And as long as you're prepared, win some, lose some, live to fight another day, whatever the case, I'm good with it. As long as you're prepared for that.
Yeah, you better be ready.
Drop it.
It's going to happen.
And your third option is to play the dozens. Nobody's perfect. Find out what makes that bitch fucking weird and point that out and fucking zero in on that. But you've got to be clever with that shit. It's a skill to crack on people. Mm-hmm. And she was like, okay. So she's kind of sitting around thinking about it and mulling it over. So she has this person now. Now, this person from the last day of school to the first day of school now, she's non-binary and she's chosen some things off the menu herself. And she's changed her name. It's Sky. Sky now is her name. It was something else, now it's Sky. And she is non-binary, such and such. And she says to Jaina, come here. And Jaina...
This is this year in school?
This year in school.
Okay.
And Jaina's super anxious because this is the person... She says, would you sit with me? So now she's asked Jaina to sit with her and hang out with her.
Wow.
And Jaina's like, which seemed a little weird, but I did, just to see maybe she's turned a new leaf, maybe we're making up, maybe she wants to apologize, who knows? Doesn't say anything to me for like 15 minutes and then says, you're gay.
What?
And Jaina says, what? And she's like, you're a gay person. You're a lesbian.
Oh.
And Jaina's like, no, I'm pretty sure I'm a straight girl. I haven't locked in, but I'm pretty sure I'm a straight girl. And she was like, well, you dress gay. And then I was like, well, Jaina, you should have told her, wait till tomorrow, bitch, because I'm coming in with this hooping shorts and these big ass, like, her usual outfit that she wears. You ain't seen nothing yet. But yeah. So anyway, it's just been interesting hearing a lot. She's like, they're going around the room in her school, and people are giving like their pronouns and shit, and people are change their names, and it's just, and she's like, to hear her. She's a smart girl, man. But to hear her, like, she's like, I don't know if these people mean any of this. She'll say, like, I don't know if it's just a thing that they're doing. Mm-hmm. There was this, and I don't want to get too caught up in this, but it's just the sociological things that are happening with children in her age and demographic. If you have kids and then it's at the very least an interesting case study.
Yes.
So my daughter made 2 pretty fast friends when we moved here. And both of those young ladies that I knew them as are now identifying different. And I'm not sure what. But I will say this. Given the options that these kids have to take away the name they were given at birth by their parents and to be called whatever they want to be called, why the fuck would a child pick the name Oliver?
Fair point.
And once again, do whatever you want, but one of these children has flip-flopped on.
Well, a lot of them are because they're too
they don't
young.
know.
They don't know.
Don't know yet.
Yeah.
But they haven't settled.
But they feel pressured.
Yeah.
By who?
I've said this. I've said this
by their society.
By the other kids
Yeah.
or something?
Because
like
it
the culture
like
of
the
it
people
is like,
who
hey, what are you?
The people who get attention are the ones who have
Right.
made some sort of decision like that. Yeah, I'm guessing.
Just like I told her, I was like, don't expect any kind of theatrics here. Like it's like I have a party because I'm not paying full price for that wedding.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't decide if I like broccoli till I was in my 20s.
Dude, I mean, I just had some shit recently that I was like, oh, that ain't bad, is it?
Yeah.
But anyway, it's just interesting. I'm fascinated with hearing all of her like school stories and stuff and how things are going there. Wow. So I'll keep you guys abreast.
One last thing, the thing that cracks me up is
I mean that in a neutral way.
My daughter will be talking about someone, and I will call them by the only name I've ever known them by, and I get this look like their name's Oliver.
Hey, you got to keep up with the times, Chris.
Sorry, I didn't get the memo.
And we're gonna tap into that a bit later, I think. Okay. But hold that thought. And I have a question for you as well. I saw, and I know it's silly to judge, but I'd be lying if I didn't. I saw professional Quidditch.
Oh,
I
talked about this a while ago.
So interesting.
I didn't know there was professional. I know there was like.
Well, they are considered the majors.
Did you? They
told me.
Did you join the Facebook group?
Oh, you wait.
There's majors and minor
in person.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna get. I was like, I'm not gonna.
Where? How?
So it was at. It was at a park. It was like at a field, like a a whole bunch of there's a baseball thing, there's a football thing,
okay.
there's, in Elk Ridge,
Okay.
and there was a lot of commotion. There was an ambulance there and everything because some girl hurt her ankle playing Quidditch. So I kind of got drawn by the lights and sounds. And
so you were just happened to be nearby?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was,
so this has nothing to do with your kids or anything? Okay.
Just drawn by light and sound. I don't know why it made me funny because it seems like a Bobby thinks he's like, lights and sound. Let me go check it out.
Yeah. So I was like, what's going on over here? And I'm in everybody's way, including the ambulance and everybody else. And they're like, oh, like she heard it playing. And I was like, oh, it looked kind of like a soccer uniform.
Right.
And she's a girl, and maybe it's sexist of me, but I think, soccer's a fair, could be. But then I'm like looking around, like there's dudes too. They're old. Like it's like college kids. You know what I mean? Like co-ed soccer seems weird. So I scan the field and I see 3 circles, like rings down at one end. And I keep scanning and I see 3 rings down this end. And I was like, what sport are y'all playing? Professional Quidditch. And I wanted to say, bitch, ain't no such thing.
Well,
but if,
I mean,
Did you keep it together?
I did. I was like, no kidding. And then I started seeing all their little broomsticks, but they're not broomsticks; they're just sticks. Like they don't have like the broom part.
It's not the nimbus.
They hold it between their legs and they run around like a bunch of fucking imbeciles. But but yeah, and I mean, like, look, however, like lightning bolt, right? Whatever, however people spend their free time.
But the
whatever.
thing is, like, what makes one a professional at anything at all is if you get paid for it.
So all right. So you want
Right?
to? So
I consider you a professional artist because you get paid for your art.
Tell us
whether
about
you consider yourself or
the
not.
sponsors on their jerseys.
There were some. Couldn't tell you who it was, but one league from Austin, Texas. The other league from Pittsburgh. The teams, rather.
And to meet up in Maryland, Elk Ridge, to play.
Wow. Was this on a soccer field, a soccer size field?
Yeah, or football size field. Probably
okay.
was probably what it was for. There was people. There was like photographers there. There was stands. There was
Is this
like lunch trucks? Like you know what I mean? Like food trucks and shit. Like
is this going to be on ESPN? Like League of Legends?
I don't know. I mean, it was a big deal.
How many people would you say, including audience, were there?
I got a picture.
Oh, okay.
Wow. This is like League of Legends.
You can't
style.
really.
But like League of Legends, you actually make money, though.
So-
That's
Yeah,
the difference.
yeah.
You make millions
What
of
you-
dollars playing League of
What
Legends.
you can't
that's
see
true.
is over here. There's a whole bunch of bleachers with like a packed crowd.
Okay, so like, there's people.
Yeah.
It's not as many as the high school football game.
No, but the audience. There's a whole
there's
audience
a whole-
in
okay.
bleachers
Oh, I
on the
couldn't
right.
see, okay.
Yeah. Because I was just trying to get them,
Right.
and I was trying to get the rings.
So would you say there's?
See, can you see the rings? There's like one.
Yeah, I see the
Yeah,
rings.
yeah, it's pretty wild.
So would you say there's as much as like a varsity football game? Worth of people there?
I would say there's more.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean there was photographers, there was videographers, there was all sorts of and then events.
Wow.
Who's getting paid? That's what,
And there was medical staff. There, I mean, it was a thing.
Guys, there are. I found their website. It's usquidditch.org. I mean, the map says it
wait,
all.
wait,
That's
wait.
the location of all the teams in the states.
Why is there none right in the middle of the country? It splits east and west.
You know why?
Hey, are you joining? What are you doing? Are you joining
No,
the Facebook group?
it's actually not. It's actually a legit website.
You ain't running around that with
So-
between your legs.
So it was the Duquesne Quidditch from Pittsburgh. And where'd you say the other ones were from?
Texas.
Austin.
One was from Texas.
Oh, it might have been the Houston Cosmos Quidditch Club.
It might have been.
I'm just seeing where are
they have
these
orange
located?
uniforms.
It doesn't. Well, let me click
Or
on
it
their
was
website.
blue, or no, it was orange. I think she was orange. Doesn't matter. But yeah, fascinating.
Wow.
Like what's? Because there's professional like hobby horse. Like,
Right,
yes.
No, I know.
We've
We've
seen them.
Yeah.
Like
Last thing.
who's paying? Yeah. That's all I care about. Like who's paying these people?
I don't know.
I went to my in-laws for dinner.
Oh,
Okay.
They invited me to dinner.
you.
No, my family.
Okay.
To include me.
include
Specifically to include me.
I
like
was like,
that's-
it's like
that's
it's
like
not
nice.
like Lauren, kids, would you like to come to?
Yeah.
Bobby can come too.
Yes, it wasn't that, and it wasn't like, what day is Bobby working this week? I'd like to have you guys over for dinner. It wasn't that either. It was like, what days are Bobby off that we could have dinner? Like, it was like that.
Oh, okay. That's
So I
pretty
went.
legit.
It wasn't the worst experience in the world. I would do it again.
You didn't need tub time after that.
I didn't need what?
Tub
Tub time.
No. Well, So that's that. So we probably could have used. We probably could have used some tough time because an issue did arise from it, and whatever. But I'll get there in a second.
For those who hasn't been listening long enough,
yeah, I mean, my in-laws and I have a very complicated relationship, and every time that my wife and I get into some sort of beef or drama or whatever, we usually have some tub time. We sit in the tub. If you're in a relationship, I highly advise it. It's hard to be hard, so to speak, when you're completely in the most vulnerable position, locked in an environment intimately with another person. It just makes you want to be kind of just open and not aggressive and whatever. So we found it works for us. And it was not bad. Let me tell you what worked. Laura didn't leave me. Mm-hmm. Usually she'll help her mom cook, and then I'll just be sitting by myself in a chair for an hour and a half waiting for dinner, and then I'll sit at dinner and basically still be sitting there by myself, just with other people at the table.
You could have brought croissant nights with you.
I would have rather brought croissant nights. You know what I mean? And anyway, so like, I wasn't like she stayed with me, so they ended up coming more so into the main room and having a conversation.
Okay,
not with me, but having a conversation amongst me. Mm-hmm. And then we had dinner. It's fine. I engaged in their conversation, which ended up in debates, and so because we just don't see the world the same way in many respects. So, ended up in some debates, but whatever. And then, and then kind of said our goodbyes and so on and so forth. It's fine. We got home, and it was time to. It should have been tub time. But we didn't do tub time. We did porch time, and it was a tactical error. But I was like, so what do you think? And she said her thing. I said, look, I didn't have a terrible time. I would be willing to do it again. That's how much not of a terrible time I had. Didn't have a great time, but tolerable, good food for free. Kids got to see their grandparents hang out, and I got to talk to them a bit, and I wasn't treated like a fucking, third-class citizen at least. And I was like, but I do think it's weird that they didn't ask me a single question.
Well, maybe they learned a lesson.
In her response, and let me just say this, like, I don't necessarily care. I just think it's weird.
I mean, because you've given some fucked up answers before, because they asked some fucked up questions.
Correct.
Right. Mm-hmm. So maybe they're just like, let's not.
But Laura didn't really comment on it. And then she said at the end what she did say about my tendonitis. I mean, I'm getting short in attendance.
Short in attendance, long in a tooth.
And I was just like, I lost my temper. I lost my temper in the conversation because I was like, just take a minute and just please just acknowledge that it's fucking weird to have a dinner with someone and not say something that's like, hey, how you been? How you doing? How's work? How's YouTube? How's drawing?
How's anything they know that you do?
How's your brothers and sister? How's your parents, your father? How's all of these people that I have known for 25 years from knowing you and knowing how they interact and knowing about you and your life? How are any of those things? Favorite color still black, gray, white, and red? Like, anything. Just acknowledge it. And she did. And I was like, that's where a lot of my problems come in with this stuff. It's not really with them.
It's her.
It's with you. Just call it. Yeah. Just call it with me. It's like you're the referee. You're just call a play for my team every once in a while. But like I said, still willing to pursue it. I'll tell you what my concern is. If all cards are on the table. My concern is that some event is coming up, and they want me present.
Because you've talked about it before, and it's come to pass. You're like, oh, I bet you they're doing this because they want an extra day of the year or whatever the fuck, and then they did.
And I am so far from that, and I don't want to I don't want to disappoint them. because I'm going to tell them, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, because you said that.
It happened. It happened
3 years ago.
Yeah, they didn't have anyone, and then they hit me up and was like, "Hey, you want to come here?" And then we're having because so and so's father's birthday or whatever. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I don't need all those people in my life. They haven't cared about me being in theirs. Let's just call it quits. Yep. So anyway, but we did it. It was, I guess, at the end of the day, a net positive because it wasn't war.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, this is something that's still odd. And if she would have just been like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with them.
Right.
But maybe it'll get better. It would have been, put a pin in it for me. I'd been done. But it was just like, well, she did ask about that. I was like, but come on. Give me something here. Like, yeah. All right. And then she eventually did, but whatever.
You push it out of her.
Yeah. And then lastly, I have a question for you. And this was sent to me.
He's pointing at Chris, by the way.
Yes. It was sent to me by Ricky. Cool dude.
Run, Ricky, run.
Yes. Run, Ricky, you're running. Brooklyn, you're familiar. And
no, but it's okay.
He wanted you to know that there are Super 7 Simpsons figures coming out. I told him I was 100% positive that you had been made aware, so I wasn't going to forward it to you, but I would ask what you thought about them on Nerd Rage.
They're not for me.
No shit.
You already done your collection, right? You already got your shit.
They're 7-inch figures.
So they're different scales.
They obviously won't go, and I don't have a Simpsons shrine of all different stuff. I have one toy line of Simpsons stuff.
Yeah, and you have...
And it's, Super 7 picks some odd shit to start with.
The space
like
stuff?
The Space Homer and the Itchy and Scratchy robots.
Maybe
dog.
it's because there's regular Homers been made over the years. They might as well
but
make,
not in that scale.
Regular Homers.
I mean, what if
so I know what you mean.
Like you start with the Arctic Batman, and then
you look at their what they offer.
There's tons of regular Batmans out there.
That's true, but think about what they offered for Transformers. Such an odd group.
Yeah, agreed.
And the G.I. Joe thing's kind of
a little strange.
It's a little strange.
Not as strange.
It's not as strange.
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, that's weird. It's a weird license, but I guess I get it. But if I'm going to spend that much money on a figure, it's going to be one of these Series 15 background characters that I need to complete my
because you've got you've got a pretty impressive Simpsons collection.
You don't need to start a new one.
Right.
It'd
be nice to see some dioramas for him, Joe, to be honest with you.
No, you're not going to see dioramas.
Make a
It would looks so perfect.
I don't want to do dioramas for those. It's the last
interior of
thing.
a Quickie Mart, like replica?
Just the fucking couch room.
Yes.
I've got all those ones that came with shoved in a box in the hole. and those are the most expensive. Those are the most expensive ones. Like some of those sets are like $100. But I don't. Hi, Joe. I don't care about the set. I just want the figure.
Yeah. Just like that Doink. He doesn't want the stage. Just want the Doink.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I do want that Doink. Dude, give me that Doink.
Right on. That'd be a fan price for sure. Then, wouldn't it?
All right, so we'll move into notes. R.I.P. OnlyFans.
Yeah, I saw that.
Mm-hmm. Do we want to talk about why this is? Do we know why this is? We all know why this is.
Credit card
right?
processing. That's what it boils down to. Credit card processing.
I think it's advertising.
What?
Yep. I think I think it's going to be their undoing. I think if I have a social media platform that's allowing pornography, and Bobby's Bits will advertise with me, and Joe's butt utensils is advertising with me, and Chris's size 14s are advertising with me, and Phil's not just hats are advertising with me. It's going to bring in a certain amount of money.
It's called Phil's Nude Fridge. It's a camera in his fridge. And he opens it twice a day and he's butt ass naked.
I love it.
Dude. I'm just saying.
So
I have good ideas.
That is great. Not a bad one.
Maybe we put somebody else in the place of Phil, but the fridge thing I think has legs.
And he's got to come down with Himalayan salt balls attached to his feet. So it probably brings in a certain amount of money. Then you also have your subscriptions that are going to bring in a certain amount of money that you're getting a cut of. But Amazon's not going to advertise with you. Disney's not going to advertise with you. Facebook's not going to advertise with you. Nobody that has big money is going to advertise with you because the pornography stigma is on you. And my guess is that they think that they can make more money with bigger advertisers if they drop the pornography from their site. I think that they're going to lose almost 90% of their fucking subscriptions, and they're going to fucking circle the drain, is what I think.
Did they not was it not around when
telling
Tumblr
you.
went down?
I'm telling you, it's pressure.
Exactly.
It's pressure from payment processing.
Like, look.
How so? Talk about that.
The credit card companies, there's not that many payment processors. And if they say our Christian values don't want to support your pornography, so you can't process your cards through us anymore.
Could be. I don't know.
That seems. I don't know. I don't know. It's just.
I don't know.
Off the top of my head, seems far fetched because there's.
You would imagine it's the same processors that are like at Pornhub or whatever. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
Or
That's
any
just
of
what
these other
I had
porn
read
companies.
that somewhere.
It's got to be money.
It's
Obviously,
it's money.
I think it's like the fucking golden egg thing. Like, you're gonna kill the fucking goose. Like, what the fuck? You're getting a steady. It seems to me
Steady revenue stream.
huge, like relatively large revenue.
I would imagine.
Month after month.
Yeah.
Well, some are more average. Oh, you're talking about. Go.
And I'm imagine they're making lots of money, but they want more.
Yeah, of course.
So they're gonna completely change the platform from what they are to completely something different, hoping for this more money because they have because you're talking about its numbers, right? Like Netflix, we have this many subscribers, so But you're gonna do this thing, lose all your fucking subscribers, and no one's gonna advertise with you.
So you're gonna lose that 10% or whatever for a hopeful advertising spot, in my opinion, and then you're not going to be able to get the advertising spot because you're going to lose all your subscriptions, and they don't want to waste their money advertising with a company that's not bringing in any business.
And Tumblr number 2.
Yeah.
But there's two things. I personally have a not stake, but like.
Did you say
connection?
Dude. No mistake. Oh, see, now you got me all excited.
To personal connection. 2 points because I have a personal connection.
Right.
Like, I have multiple friends.
Dude, flex.
Are on OnlyFans. One of which quit her job, bought a new house, had her husband quit his job, bought him a car, all on OnlyFans money. And she just started this past year. She's a very popular OnlyFans person. So, like, if one person that I know makes that kind of money, and I know several others that make good fucking money, not as much as her, and I know how many fucking OnlyFans accounts are out there, they're making a lot of fucking money. Yeah. What are they doing? Well, second of all, I think they're giving themselves a safety net because I believe that it's no longer pornography, but like nudity is allowed.
Can I read part of it? So this is from CNN, which all things considered is probably as reputable as
the China News Network.
Yeah. Well, it's not. I mean, it isn't like it's from comicbook.co or anything, Phil.
Hey, man. I get the information where I can.
Not all of.
Let's hear it.
All right, not all of explicit content is going away. Nudity will still be allowed as long as it complies with the other policies. But only. Hang on.
I don't know how
only content containing sexually explicit content, presumably meaning sex acts on camera, will be banned, said in a statement. Venture capital firms are often wary of investing in platforms that host adult content. OnlyFans' popularity and revenue both exploded during the pandemic, yet it has struggled to secure outside investment. OnlyFans' decision is also a result of a much wider and concerted crackdown in recent years across explicit parts of the internet, one driven largely by a group of powerful and increasingly assertive companies, the payment processors, who behind the scenes handle every swipe of your card when you're paying for gas, groceries, or tipping on OnlyFans.
Huh.
What about PayPal?
I want to know more about it.
Yeah.
So we're both right.
Yeah.
It's a 2-part problem.
Well, they want investors to grow their platform, and then they,
I said advertisers, but it should have been investors.
But they grew the platform on this content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. It doesn't, like, who's sitting in these board chairs, and, like, why is no one telling them no?
Yeah. And
to your point, last December, Discover, MasterCard, and Visa all announced that they would suspend payments to Pornhub.
Really?
Wow.
Following allegations the site had hosted child sex abuse material.
Oh, well, that's different. That's a different bag, but yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I mean, if OnlyFans does this, all it means is that somebody right now is eating a bowl of chocolate caramel crunch, and in between each bite is writing the programming for only sex.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then if the same thing happens, it'll just trickle down.
The same thing
down.
happened like with Patreon. Like this shit was on Patreon and then jumped to OnlyFans.
Yeah.
But the difference was Patreon didn't build itself off of porn
Correct.
stuff.
Correct.
Like, porn just started going into it.
Correct.
But the OnlyFans I feel like came up through porn. But like I said, like nudity is allowed, and it's really vague what is going to be considered pornography or not. Just like on Twitch, we see shit on there that some people would get banned for, and some people don't.
Right.
Will never,
Consequences
because of the
aren't the
money.
same for everyone. Right. Right.
So,
So I just thought it was something we'd all participate in. Good call on that note, Phil.
No, that's something that's like deep in my radar.
Yeah, I figured as long as Joe was here, it'd be a good conversation.
He-Man and the Masters of the Disproportionate. Did anyone watch this trailer?
No intentions of watching.
They look awful. This looks awful.
What?
This new He-Man show.
That's the second one.
Yeah,
animation,
it looks
it's like
awful.
I'll check it out because the premise reminds me of the Voltron Legendary Defender thing.
It looks childish.
Yeah,
it looks like it's aimed for 5-year-olds.
It's aimed at a younger audience.
Yeah. Tell me how it is, Phil.
I thought it was like Teen Titan Go type deal.
It's not as comical as that, but yeah.
Yeah, it looks maybe a little bit more mature than that, if I was to be fair. But just aesthetically, it doesn't look like it's like kind of almost South Parky.
But I think it's interesting that it's debuting around the same time as the Kevin Smith series, and it's definitely aimed at brand new audience members that have no recollection, knowledge of previous He-Man.
I won't be watching this.
Oh, I didn't expect you to.
Yeah, not for me.
Probably not aimed for you. How about people like?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's not aimed at any of us.
Yeah, I think it's aimed for children. And if it gets a new, generation of fans, then fantastic.
I think that'll be great for the. It'll be great for the brand,
if you know what I'm saying. Speaking of branding, I'm going off the nerd rage, right? I ended up in this conversation with this woman recently who works at a petting zoo. She volunteers at a petting zoo. I know. Bear with me. And she was saying how the petting zoo that she's a part of, it's like right down the road. It's not too far. But the petting zoo that she's a part of wants to become a nationally recognized petting zoo. But like in order to do so, you got to have like goats, llamas. Like there's a certain like checklist of shit to be a nationally registered. And I was like, is that true with like aquariums and shit too? And she said yes. So she said like to be a proper aquarium, you just have to this, and this, and to be like a proper zoo, like you need like 2 grizzlies, 2 pandas, 2 polar bears, and that's the bare minimum.
Oh God!
bad.
That was bad.
And I smelled it the whole time.
That was a long walk.
I didn't smell it.
I almost said this is a bad joke setup, but I was going to let you burn on it.
I found it hilarious.
What's funny is because I say him like
slow burn,
like because of nerve rage and shit. Like I find myself looking for him or whatever, and staying around the house with the kids or whatever. And as soon as I start into something, a lot of times like Laura will be like, "Here comes some bullshit." Or Jay.
I don't know why I haven't learned yet. It's been years.
All right,
I don't have the radar.
Why the last binary man? Getting back to our conversation from before. So, we don't know what this is yet. There's a lot of talk about gender in regard to how they're going to handle Y the last man. So, in the comic book, everything with a Y chromosome perishes. But they are saying that gender is diverse. What was exciting about the book, this is a quote, was it takes this kind of idea that a world that is filled with mostly women, and the book is definitely sort of a more skewed towards the idea of a world of women, that is not necessarily just a paradise because women uphold systems of oppression like patriarchy and white supremacy and capitalism. And I think that there's so much more that can be explored within that because gender is diverse and chromosomes are not equal to gender. So I agree that chromosomes are not necessarily equal to gender because you could talk about gender roles and what kind of makes up a particular role of a gender within any culture, right? So I agree with that. But it says, continues, tragically, this includes that includes many women, it includes non-binary people, it includes intersex people, but that's also true of the survivors. And we have a world that is, I think, central to my understanding of the show, our understanding.
So here's my 2 cents on this.
Yep.
All right? Everybody driving a Hyundai Sonata, your car is going to blow up tomorrow. Okay? Just because of the Hyundai Sonata.
Correct.
Right? So this is, if you have a Y chromosome, you're going to go away.
It's
the rest of it doesn't fucking matter. It's if you're driving a Honda Civic instead of a Hyundai Sonata, you're fine. But if you're in the Hyundai Sonata, your car's going to blow up.
So, but I'm getting the idea that maybe that's not what they're going to do.
So you're going to change the entire premise of the story.
And if that's the case, I'm out.
Same here. Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
How long? How
Agreed.
How long is it going to take for you to find that out?
I think first episode.
Hopefully.
I
You don't want to be led by the nose for a few episodes and then they drop that shit on you.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a first episode thing that they're going to kind of lay the groundwork for that. Because, like, if they're like... Now, I don't think they need to... See, like, here's the thing is, like, I don't think you need to go overboard to make any kind of point about it, right? Like, I don't think you need to... Especially with how sensitive things are and all of that. Like, I don't think you need to make any kind of point. Like, a group of women are at a table at dinner, and one of them is a transgender. I don't think you need to see that transgender person just fall out dead to, like, make a point about it, right? But the point is that everybody with the Y chromosome is supposed to die, and it's supposed to be people that literally cannot reproduce. It's important to the context of the story is that this is the last generation unless we figure something out. So if it's not that, it's something else. And while that something else may be good, it's not what I want to see.
Just make the book.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
When I forget, when was the comic book originally published? Was it early 2000s?
20 years ago?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was during a great run of a lot of like Vertigo shit, like 100 Bullets era.
Yeah, it was Vertigo, right?
Yeah. Okay, spider trailers tingling. Apparently, a Spider-Man trailer.
That sounds dirty for some reason.
I saw it.
Did you?
I have it on my phone.
No shit.
Well, okay, let me tell you what I have. I have a video of a video of a video.
Yes, that's what I saw too, and I watched.
So what is it?
Let me see if I can pull
it was
up.
very blurry.
Yeah, it's not easy.
not-
Oh, it's
It's
like
not
the
an easy
80s trying to
watch.
watch porn on the cable from next door.
Yeah, it's not an easy watch.
And it may have been taken down. Let me see if it's still up.
Yeah.
Nope, it's been taken down.
All right, so can you
Give
talk
us a
me-
synopsis,
Yeah, can you
like
give us
the way
any
he's going to
information?
give you the bad.
He goes and sees.
Giving anybody the bad.
He goes and sees Doctor Strange and says something along the lines of, "I wish nobody knew my identity." Because if you remember how the last movie ended,
I do.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to tell what's going on, but you do see Willem Dafoe's character and there was one other person that seemed out of place or was out of place. Maybe Alfred Molina, who's the octopus.
He's definitely been
Doc Ock.
slated. Willem Dafoe has not been officially said in there, but Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx have definitely been officially
Yeah, that was the
slated.
other one. It was Electro.
Yeah.
Oh, of all the ones.
All of them.
But supposedly they...
But of all the ones to really bring back,
Supposedly-
Doc Octopus, lean into that.
Yeah.
that was the best
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
But supposedly he's not going to have the
Jamie
blue...
Foxx still.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx is supposedly not going to have the blue skin. That's the rumor.
I don't know if that's better.
So
Yeah, I don't know.
So I mean Mason told me about it and he sent it to me and I'm like, what the fuck? It was literally like somebody recording a phone
It
of a
was-
phone
yeah,
recording
right,
of a
Sony-
phone.
and
It's like
Sony was-
That's awesome, though.
Sony was running around for a couple hours playing whack-a-mole, basically.
it's like an eighth shared story.
Yeah. So every time they'd
Those
shut
little
one
Russian
down,
dolls.
another person would have it up.
So it was apparently they had some like press junket for some new stuff coming out, and that was shown. So I would imagine at this point they'll put it out by the end of the week. The trailer, if it's done enough to show to some people, it's probably done enough to show everybody.
Next note is Hope for the Mandarin. Apparently, Ben Kingsley is going to be in Shang-Chi.
Wow.
And if you remember, I had said
You'll never
what would be
see
cool is if they
coming.
do something to kind of retro fix the and then you said, well, I like the Mandarin as it is. I like the Mandarin, and I was like, I
Hello.
understand it, but for those that did not, it'd be cool because you still have that.
My
It'd
name's,
be-
my name's Trevor.
because they implied that he got killed in prison.
Well, and the fact that the 10 Rings
Yeah.
implies that there's going to be some sort of Mandarin connection.
Oh yeah. Well, they've already said that
They speak
the
Mandarin.
dad in Shang-Chi's dad is the Mandarin. They've changed the story to have that be him be the Mandarin himself, which is why he has the 10 rings.
Right, because like in the comics, isn't he the Mandarin's kid?
No.
Like originally?
No.
Are you sure?
He is a different master criminal's kid, but he's an Asian crime lord. But he's not the Mandarin. It's a different character.
Oh, so actually wasn't. I thought it was retcon at some point to be related to the Mandarin.
Probably.
Who knows?
I don't know.
But at any rate, it'd be nice to have a Mandarin for those that don't want a
Yeah.
joke ass Mandarin.
Yeah, because there was
If that's leading to it in any way. Shape,
well,
or
the
form.
one there was a special feature, and I don't remember which home release it was on.
Real quick, if the act was the joke, So not the act that he was putting on for the cameras, but the act that he was putting on when the cameras were off was the joke.
Okay. Well, so there was a special feature in one of the home releases for one of the Marvel films, I can't remember which where it readdresses Ben Kingsley in prison after he goes to prison at post Iron Man 3.
Yeah, and it was like a bonus scene on a DVD or something, right? Yeah.
And it's supposed to imply he gets killed by one of the true followers of the True Ten Rings.
Gotcha. So I mean, you're familiar with the expression "no cap"?
I am.
Cap for no cap. It's a double entendre.
I see what you did. I see what you did.
I really only kept the story so that I could.
God.
Of course.
But apparently, the Falcon, Anthony Mackie, has signed on for a fourth Captain America film.
I mean, sounds like.
I mean, that's a natural
sense.
progression of
Yeah,
things.
that's the TV shows. I mean, yeah.
And then
This is
Eternals
the first
trailer
show.
3. Did anybody watch that?
I did. I watched it this morning, actually.
What'd you think? I'm sure you watched it, Phil.
So I watched it, and I watched a breakdown video. I'll be honest, that was 4 times longer than the trailer, but
Usually they are.
Of course.
and honestly,
They want the
watching that makes more sense as to who these people are, and like
It's a
apparently
Jack Kirby thing, isn't it?
yeah, it is,
Yeah.
and like Thanos is half them and half
deviant.
Yeah.
He's a mutated Eternal. He's basically got both bloodlines. So the creatures that you see coming out of the water, and those are supposed to be the deviants.
Right.
So
I got that. I did get that from the trailer.
I mean, the thing that kills me is the Jon Snow asks, and he's always going to be Jon Snow. Sorry,
right.
Jon Snow says, "Why didn't you stop Thanos?" And they're like, You know that meme where the guy holding his hands up, like, it ain't my problem?
Right.
It's kind of how they're
right,
like, I
right.
ain't got shit to do with that.
Yeah, I mean,
So they've been tasked with keeping the deviants in check, and that's what they're supposed to do by the Celestials, which were the huge guys
with
from
the 3-eyed things.
the
Six-eyed,
huge
yeah.
guys they showed destroying planets with the Power Stone back in Guardians of the Galaxy.
I mean, isn't nowhere a skull of one of those guys?
Yeah. Supposedly,
yeah.
This is the final trailer for this thing.
Yeah, supposedly. Yeah, they've done 3. Usually, there's only 3. But.
I'm still like I'm going to see it just because I'm going to see it, but I'm not sold on this.
Yeah.
I'm not sold
Celestial
on from
parts of
from
it.
the trailers. I'm not sold on it from the trailers. I'm not like, ooh.
I'm very curious how they're going to spin this.
I'm interested to see how they put that Marvel like funny in it, I guess. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I mean, there's
There's
a
a
one
hint
scene
of-
where
yeah,
they break
there's
the
There's a little
table.
hint at the, yeah.
This
There's a
vibranium.
scene earlier in it too.
Mainly, I want to see this because of the Celestials, and because they haven't done as much as I think they should have in Guardians with those.
And then that was it. So I don't know if we got any questions actually this week.
No way.
Yeah, like, we did get at least one right in.
And where do they send questions to?
nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com. We just got one. But we did get a nice little write-in. Just said, first-time writer. I just got to commend you guys for having such a unique podcast and such an iconic niche in the community. I got to know Bobby best through listening to Sit Down Saturdays, and he just brought such an intelligence and I hate talking about every shit about myself. I'd much rather spin it to be something else. To the hobby, you talked about the politics of the hobby, and no one else does, and they are intricate topics. And he said, then I found Nerd Rage Radio, and it was exactly that. And I was so pleased when he was saying, all I could think was, now I want this guy's opinion on literally everything. I think it has to be my favorite podcast, and I fervor for it every week. I actually did listen to another Transformer podcast that I remain nameless, but it was dry and ironically too on topic. Take that, other Transformers podcast. You fucking suck, bro. You and your fucking nerd-ass friends sit around and talk about shit no one gives a fuck about. I have no idea what he's talking about. They're probably great people.
But I hope we're past this being a Transformers podcast.
Yeah.
Was it ever a Transformer?
No.
I don't think so.
No, just shit comes up because
We're
of lifestyle.
number 123 in UK's
Yeah,
fucking
dude, ask
entertainment
about,
news.
ask about us
motherfucker.
in the UK, man.
That's where we
You
that's
see
where
us.
We,
You see us.
We're going on tour there. We're doing live
Oh
shows.
man, when are we going to UK? I've never been there yet.
Cody's gonna have
Dude, all
this.
I'm saying is top 200 and not 200. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
Sometimes I just want to have a fun meld of hobby and personal topics, which is what conversations with homies are. That's exactly what this is. You guys are a bunch of homies talking, and you feel like you have, like I have a seat at the table. It's awesome. Keep up the excellence.
Right on, man.
Hey,
Thank
man,
you.
Everybody
man.
has a seat
That's
at
awesome.
the cool table, bro.
Tell a friend. Tell a friend.
Yeah.
And leave a 5-star review.
Leave the 5-star review. Just copy paste that shit. All right, so it said Shane G. We did get one. He said, so it's been a few weeks since I've written to you guys and wanted to jump back in. So hearing the story Bobby told about reconnecting with a past friend after a falling out really hit home with me because I went through a similar situation recently. I won't get into the intricate details. I hope it's the pube dude.
I hope it's him.
Oh, God, yes.
I won't get into the intricate details of the dynamic between me and the certain individual because it's too long and it's a bit complicated. But if you're interested, I'd be willing to share on the side, so hit me up. But a brief description is this. We came up through the ranks at our karate school, trained together, blood, sweat, and tears, and built a really strong bond as friends. This is Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, is it not?
Which one is he, though?
I'm an only child, so he was the closest thing to a brother I have. Then he decided to make a life decision that I didn't truly agree with and created resentment and some animosity. One night, alcohol took control of our emotions and things got heated. A bit of distance and time passes. We patched things up a bit, but it was always lingering. Now he moved away for yet another life decision I didn't really agree with. Since the move, we haven't really spoken much, and now I'm torn about what to do. I know this is a pretty heavy and deep conversation. Don't feel obligated to answer right away or at all. Just looking for some outside insight on this because all my other friends know our dynamic, and I need something a bit more objective. Thanks for any insights you guys have, and go Power Rangers!
Like, it will be real once with a T-shirt. Or I have a tank top.
I know, I need
If there's
I
a
need
tank
it.
top
I know,
of
that's
Power Rangers, then
I know.
that'll be...
I know, I need to work on it.
Never. You better not, Bobby. I'm leaving if you fucking make that.
It's going to be in spring tees tomorrow. It's gonna
Anybody
faces
have
on
any
it.
advice for this?
So,
You don't want my
I don't know. I don't know where your what. I don't look, man. I don't know what your problem is with your friend, but if people fucking just drift apart. You just get. I think part of it is.
I think we're all on the same page.
Wow,
here.
okay.
Yeah, I think that it's if shit doesn't work out anymore.
No reason to
It doesn't
force
work
it.
anymore. You know what? Drop them a line. If they reply, you can have a good conversation. That may be your relationship now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But if you drop them
text
a
every 5
line
years.
and they leave you on red,
Are you friends? Are
there
you?
you go.
I think for me. Well, go ahead, Joe. You go ahead. I haven't quite formulated mine.
No, I mean, it's just like, let it go. Move on. Remember the good times you have. Like, it's just how I've had to deal with things through my entire life. I went through many good friends. It seems
Ran
callous.
through 'em.
It seems exactly. It seems callous, right? It's like, how do you have good friends if you're not friends with them anymore and you don't fucking have any relationship? Like, they were good at the time. They were great. They were my best friends at the time, and then it's over. Just like any romantic relationship.
Yeah.
Like, I'm assuming at least at some point you loved this girl or man that you're with, and you had great times, and then it stopped working out, and now you don't fucking talk.
Right.
It's like that. It's no different.
And I think the animosity, me using that analogy is, you remember the good times. I think a lot of the time the animosity comes from holding on too long. Right? Especially if you're in a romantic relationship,
I mean,
which I'm
that's
assuming
wrong.
Shane isn't here.
Yeah.
It's like, God, this needs to be over. What am I doing here? Fucking 6 months later, you're still there because neither of you have the heart to break each other's heart.
Yeah.
Which in reality, that's what you both fucking want.
And it would have been best for you both.
It would have been best
Just
for you
not
both
wasting
to.
time.
It's like, hey, we had a great run here. Let's
But most would hang on
get
till,
your
like,
dog, give me my sweater, and get the fuck out.
Yeah, most would hang on till like it gets bad, and then you are forced to leave on bad terms.
Exactly. And it sounds kind of like that might have been, you guys had some animosity, and you said some drinks got involved, some things were said.
He said some stuff. You said some stuff.
Yeah.
People change, man.
And people change. I think that's the important part to remember is,
Like, you're not gonna grow together.
Yeah.
Sometimes you grow apart.
sometimes it's
opinion
as simple as, if I told you guys I'm out of the toy hobby, I'm gonna go race cars. Probably not going to be around to do a podcast about nerd shit much anymore, but I still want to be friends with you guys. I mean, I'm not looking to do that.
No, I'd be
But,
like, Chris, it's your turn to set up a dinner. If we can have it in your car bed.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Adult club.
It's got wheels.
Sweet car
It's got
bed.
wheels on everything.
Nice.
It was an actual car that was gutted, and you put mattress in it.
It's the Crash Box Crash Car.
There you go. I'll find a crash. Yeah. Probably not going to do that either.
You can
Crash test dummy.
You can
I like
stylize
that
it
show.
like
Once there was this kid.
I hate
you
it.
stylize it like GoBots Crasher.
What about you, Phil? Do you have any advice?
I don't know. I think I'm kind of in the same boat as Chris. What he said about kind of a litmus test where you shoot him a text or something and say, "Hey, how you doing?"
Something light. Yeah.
Just something like "How you doing?" or and then see if they hit you back or not.
Or if you've got an inside joke that only
Yeah.
that person would know the response to, just
and see if they respond to you.
I think I could go on and on and on about this topic. the thing about when you say the words, he's the closest thing to a brother I had. Well, that's a different type of relationship, right? Mm-hmm. Because you don't always fuck with your brother, but your brother's always your brother. You know, like I got a brother right now who I don't fuck with. And I'll tell you something else. I got another brother who works for a fire department. And that fire department, I heard that someone was hurt in it recently. So I frantically grabbed my phone and text my brother, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, to make sure.
Haven't heard from him since.
Wow.
So obviously we're not fucking with each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's still my brother.
Yeah.
He's still my brother. So like when you say that does throw a different dynamic on it that I understand, because you can not fuck with your brother, but he's always your brother. I think with friendships that are like that or close friends, I think that there's a couple things you got to ask yourself. Are the transgressions that you have against one another, are they transgressions that you honestly think the two of you are going to be able to get over? Mm. If that answer is no, it's the decision tree again. Mm-hmm. No? Okay, there's your answer. Yes. Okay, how? Mm-hmm. And then you attack it that way.
And if those transgressions are, the different lifestyle choices that you mentioned, then, I mean, if that's not something you're willing to get over, then you have to admit to yourself that, I got to move on from this guy.
And then here's the more painful question that you have to ask. And I'll be honest with you, it's a question that I ask myself. And I don't know if I have the answer either. It's not an easy one to answer. But are you friends with the individual, or are you friends with the friendship? Mm. And that's a hard one, because people grow, like you say, and people change, and you love your relationship that you have with this person. But when you isolate that person and who that person is today, if you just met that person today, would that be someone that you want in your circle?
Exactly. Great way to put that, Bobby.
Yeah.
And if that answer is no, well, then you're in it because of the history.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you're in it because of what that person has meant to you in the past.
What it used to be.
And you have to, and maybe what you used to be.
Yeah,
or
right.
You know what I mean?
It's like everybody changes. It's not
Correct.
just a one-sided thing.
There was a hit song several years ago that, man, it kind of haunts me when I think about stuff like this. Nah, that's just somebody that I used to know. It's heartbreaking. It really is.
Yeah, I mean,
whether it's a friend or a relation, a romantic relationship or family.
Anybody that knows me knows that I've been struggling with this in ways that more serious than anyone, with the exception of my wife, will ever know. For a year and a half, 2 years almost, 2 years probably, 2 years, yeah. So like, and I still don't have all the answers. But like, something will happen, you learn a little bit more. Something will happen, you learn a little bit more. And, I've asked the question, like, is just not being at odds with that person good enough? Is that something that's good enough?
I think in court they call that irreconcilable differences.
Irreconcilable differences. So yeah, it's a lot. It's nothing that I can tell you here that can solve that problem for you. It's something that you got to really think about. You got to think about the history between you two, whether or not those, when did the beef start between the first life decision? When that shit happened, have you ever gotten over it? Because people hold on to shit.
Yeah, and if you think your passion is up, if you think this is going to happen again, is it worth it?
Yeah.
And to put a bow on this for you, Shane, the real question that I need to know is, are you and this other person Eskimo brothers?
Yes.
Because that could complicate things severely.
And to be fair, I think there's one more question that we should ask him. Does he want the Go-Go Power Rangers extra large 2X? Because that's important also. All right.
Man, it's rough out here in these streets.
and I think that's it. I will double check just because it is Monday, and that's usually when the questions start coming in.
Right when we end, it's like when one pops up.
Correct.
We need to do a better job of telling everybody on social media.
Yeah.
What day we're recording. It's normally Monday or Tuesday.
But sometimes you get blasted. Blasted with questions.
I do want to say this. Shoki from Shoki's Reviews. We talked last week, and I asked Dante which one of the Sex and the City girls does he think that he... and Shoki wrote in, and he said, your question as to who on Nerd Rage is which Sex and the City girl is easy. Joe is Samantha, Chris is Charlotte, Phil is Miranda, you're Carrie, and Dante is Mr. Big.
I'm good with Charlotte.
Wait, I'm getting
I'm
getting the characters confused. It's been a while. Which one is Miranda? Which one am I?
The redhead, short redhead. But then,
Okay.
to be fair, he's right on. He's not wrong.
Yeah.
Well, you're the Kim Cattrall.
Yes.
You're the old dirty slut.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm an old dirty slut.
And then just to shoot him some bail, his next text to me was, "And I hate that I know that."
Yeah, that's fair. I knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, I get some
he's
confused.
right, so-
It's been so
Never
long.
seen the movies, but enjoyed the show. It
was
I've
good.
seen
It was
time.
good. It was
I have no
good.
interest
Good
in
show.
watching it anymore.
Good fucking show.
I've seen it randomly.
All right. So with that, shout out to the rest of the Cool Table. If you make a podcast and you listen to the Cool Table pods or shows that shout out the Cool Table, then as far as I'm concerned, you're part of the Cool Table as well. It's just like that one at the Da Vinci drew, where everybody's facing the same way. It's long as fuck. Because it was
The Last Supper.
Yeah, it was a Chinese restaurant. The seating was limited. That's the Robin Williams joke.
Yeah.
And then shout out to Phil, who takes care of our notes, thankfully, and does our Twitter. To Dante, who takes care of our Facebook.
He's not up there.
Nope, he's certainly not.
Dude, it's been
You're pointing
years.
at Star Wars shit.
See how he
There's
just
no-
get
no
over
Maybe
Last
maybe
Supper.
you need to change seats.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
And then shout out also to Raul, who takes care of our Instagram, and then everyone else who works behind the scenes. And
Protect
with
Esteban.
that, at all costs,
Labias.
Velvet Vagina.
Tasty tank.
tight dick player.